And we're back to another session of the Scale of Fate campaign with our Thursday group. It is Thursday, right? I feel like I'm losing my mind on fucking days right now. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough 2 weeks, actually. But previously, in the last session 2 weeks ago, you all went on I guess essentially you would call it a fox hunt for the satyr who had stolen the prize money you had earned from the dune racing that you had done after a bit of searching. Oh, and you also, before doing that, had a new member join the party who had showed up to the city looking to join in the race, but was unfortunately a day late. You guys, though, did some searching around the city, found the individual, watched him be desecrated by some creature, which you ended up fighting two of, before two of you were cast with some sort of sickness due to these creatures and were led off by Journey before Magnus and Draka managed to retrieve the coin and escape. Sometime after that, and resting a bit, you all regrouped, were cured of your ailments, and Magnus decided that he was going to go south to try to get some sort of passage to the meat grinder, running into a kobold by the name of Sins, who is from the meat grinder as well, who spoke with him before joining him as he left the city. And the rest of you acquiring a new dune cruiser and ended up following them to the south, coming up behind them just as the session ended. So, as you guys are riding towards the familiar shape of Magnus and the smaller individual that you had not seen before running beside him, what would you like to do?
Nothing.
Just keep driving.
Stare at him as we pass.
Yeah, my character's kind of in a salty position herself, so.
Everyone.
What check do I have to make to jump on the fucking speeder?
Man, I'm really. This is amazing sound quality. You need to roll. We'll say athletics or acrobatics. Oh, I'm gonna have to roll for Sins too. So as you guys approach, Magnus is gonna do things, and I'm gonna find Sins and do his thing too. He should be good at this. He's not a winged kobold, so he can't fly.
I don't even know there were winged kobolds.
There are winged kobolds, and the other party encountered one.
Baby dragons.
Baby dragons, yes. I was wondering why Jared had a charisma save. Why did you make a charisma save 9 minutes ago, Jared?
Misclick.
Misclick? Okay. Okay. You see as Magnus turns and pretty much lunges onto this dune cruiser. And you can no longer speak. Okay, gotcha. And you see as the other individual makes the attempt and kind of barely gets a hold of it, and kind of scrapes for a moment before kind of dragging himself onto it. The hood of his cloak falling down as you see this blue kobold now crouched on the edge of your cruiser beside Magnus. And you have reaction to this situation.
I am gonna roll for stealth and try to conceal myself.
Sure, let's do it. Roll your stealth check. With disadvantage because you are in the open, but I think you could still pass it pretty easily.
He's a pretty small
22.
dude.
Yeah. I got a 22. I think I'm hidden.
You have curled up behind one of your allies. You got behind Trinket before. You're probably hiding behind Trinket, who is sitting kind of near the back right corner of this cruiser.
I'm just gonna kind of observe. I don't trust this kobold.
You see as he kind of looks over everyone, kind of looks to Magnus, who's settling down in a section of this uh, cruiser before he kind of shrugs to himself and takes a seat himself.
Just give Magnus some side eye and just then put my eyes forward.
Some serious party tension going on here.
Oh, does the cobalt have any raider marks that I can see?
Roll a check because he is wearing a cloak. A similar cloak to your own. It's it looks to be made. It's elven made.
Damn it, 13.
13. You don't see any markings in particular that would indicate that he is a raider. Though, kind of looking him over, there does seem to be kind of an aura that's coming off of him, similar to that of like how Magnus has his aura, his kind of personality. And you do also notice this individual has on his back, he has a really large warhammer for his size, as well as you notice he is wearing two different rings, one on each hand, one of which kind of is a silver band with a shield-like kind of crest over the top of it. The other one looks to be some sort of, it looks almost like a signet of some sort. And you also notice peeking out from under his cloak, there looks to be some sort of whip that he has attached to his belt.
Interesting. I want that ring.
And you see as he kind of settles down, looking off into the sand. Doesn't really say anything, just kind of goes along with Magnus.
I'm gonna keep hidden behind Trinket. Just try to stay out of sight and observe and wait for an opportunity, I guess.
All right. I guess if no one's going to do any RPing right now, you guys continue to ride through the day, which is roughly about the point that you left. By the time you would have caught up to Magnus, it probably would be pretty far into the afternoon by this point. Someone roll. Let's just say a perception check. I have no idea.
Okay. 5. I'm got an 18.
18. All right.
14. Magnus got a 22.
That sounds about right. All right. So as you guys are riding along, you don't yawn it so damn much all of a sudden. You guys look around. There's not much that happens while you guys are going along. You do notice off in the distance, like some of you had seen in the past, a few what look to be dust devils and sand elementals kind of swirling around some distance away, not minding your presence in any kind of way, as you are too far away to be worth their time. And for the most part, the day is uneventful. You guys make it to the night. And Drek, are you going to keep driving, or are you going to try to stop to rest?
I'll keep going.
How long do you want to keep going?
Until something happens.
Until something happens. Okay. You all continue into the night. Trinket staying up for a decent amount of time. Why? Probably roughly about an hour after sundown, the kobold actually settles himself down and goes to sleep. Kind of his back to all of you. Why Magnus also kind of settles in his position, not really sleeping, but just kind of resting. What are the rest of you doing while Andraka keeps driving through the night?
Let's see if I have a ring in my inventory that I could fake.
Probably just gonna rest.
I did not have a ring. I'm just gonna find like a dark area and sleep. Still keeping an eye on Cobalt though.
Okay. So you all begin to rest, and Draka, you manage to drive through the night, uneventful. It is significantly colder than it was. I need you to roll a con save for me, and also take a point of exhaustion because you did stay up all night.
13.
13. All right. Take 4 points of cold damage from the night, from kind of freezing over. You are shivering as the sun begins to rise. The rest of you wake up as the sun is beginning to rise. All of you having taken a long rest, except for Adraka. And actually, driving through the night is going to actually save you some time. Though it's going to cost Andraka some points here. For
It's a
this
sacrifice.
for
I'm
this
willing to
day,
make.
we're gonna do another skill challenge like we've done in the past. One of you needs to give me a check. You tell me what skill you want to use, and I will determine the DC based on the skill that you use. So who would like to
Each
go
have to
first?
come up with one.
Yes. It's going to be 4 trials in total.
But Magnus rolled a
Okay.
25.
What did he roll?
Survival.
Survival.
Survival. All right. Magnus kind of taking the lead on this one, kind of feeling pretty confident in his abilities to navigate the desert thus far. Kind of leads you guys along. You do avoid most of the danger through the day, and avoid most of any kind of creatures that look to have been lurking around within the sand that you might have not noticed if Magnus wasn't keeping watch. And you do make it through your first day. And Draco, are you going to keep driving?
Yeah.
You're going to keep driving? Okay. And Draka, you got to make a check for the night.
Take any check.
Any check. All right, you tell me what the check is, I'll tell you the DC. Oh, I won't tell you the DC, I will make a DC.
Nature.
Okay. Roll with disadvantage, I think, because you're exhausted.
17.
That's a pretty good disadvantage check. All right. And because that one's a good one, the DC was pretty low. You do make it through the night, and you do roll another con save for the night while everyone else was resting. 10. Okay. You take 7 points of cold damage from that night, and you have another point of exhaustion because you have not slept. On day 3 of traveling, who would like to make a check for today? We've gone through 2 checks so far. You guys are actually speeding through this desert.
I can do a check. Oh, wait, never mind. Magnus rolled again.
Magnus already did one. I'm going to say someone else do it because he's already done it. I want each of you to make a check is pretty much what I'm coming down to.
I do nature check.
We've already done one. The DC would be higher if you do a second one, but you can if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do a nature check because my survival sucks. 23.
Wow, you fucking blew my Okay, yeah. Another day, you continue on trekking through the desert, and you find you've surprisingly, you've learned how to kind of navigate through the desert, which is strange, because not even 2 weeks ago you could barely figure out where you were. Um, and as the night comes back, and Draka, you still driving?
No.
No, you're done. Okay. So as the night comes, you all slow down and begin to uh, come to a stop to camp for the night. Uh, you find it with that nature check too. You find a pretty good spot somewhere between dunes where the wind doesn't quite reach you. Um, Parking the cruiser and kind of getting set up for the night. Uh, the what would you guys like to do to prepare for the night?
I'm not gonna sleep the entire night. I'm gonna do a short rest for 4 hours
Okay,
and
so
then
you would have
keep
been
watch.
resting for the day. Okay.
Yeah,
I just
Um,
do another long rest
okay.
since I
just this
helped
way.
navigate this time.
Is there any trees or high point
There
around
is
us?
the top of dunes that are around you.
I'm gonna just make my way up to the top of the dune and kind of position myself. I'll take the hood of my cloak off so I can do a full swivel with my head.
Stand
And
still
I'll
and
just
just
keep
full
eye.
360.
Yep, just sentry. Actually, no, I might fly around at night. I'm able to use. I'm assuming it's dark enough, so I could just pop in and out of the shadows of the darkness.
Yeah, it works in dim light. So yeah, even if the moon is out, which it is at the moment, there is a moon out, um, due to it being a zenith at the moment. No, you would just
Okay.
pass the zenith, but the moon is still out. So you have pretty
Yeah.
good visibility of the entirety of this desert. Um, Roll a perception check for the night as everyone else rests.
27.
That is a stellar perception. What the hell?
He is an owl.
He is an owl. You go through most of the night uneventful. Don't really notice anything. You do a few times notice a few things moving out in the distance. What look to be probably large insects or something scuttering about the dunes about probably a mile away from you. Uh, you do see a few elementals shifting around, kind of materializing and dematerializing in areas and shifting about. Though by the end of the night, uh, as kind of dawn is slowly beginning to break, um, you feel some sort of nagging at the back of your head, and you kind of start looking around, a bit paranoid, before you notice this tall, pale, humanoid figure some distance away, kind of standing there, like staring in your direction. Uh, it
Standing
has,
there
you see, it
menacingly.
has these long, abnormally long arms, this extremely slender form, um, and these what almost look to be hollow eyes as it is staring in your direction. And around the point that you look at it and you clearly see it, you watch as one of the arms slowly lifts and points in your direction. The jaw of this creature opening to what you believe to be about 2 feet wide, and it lets out this high pitched screech and then vanishes.
Uh, did anyone else notice that, or was that just
As
me?
you look around, nobody has stirred. The sound seems to have not affected anyone else.
Okay. Um, I'm still gonna keep an eye on the camp, but I'm gonna start making my way. I'm flying over towards that direction. Would I be able to roll a stealth just to see if I could hide myself in the air? If that's even
Yeah,
possible.
you would, because you have that ability. I think you have advantage with stealth because of that, or something like that. The bird is now as crazy as Magnus.
So the first one is a 19. And the second one's a 12, so I'll take the 19.
Okay. Yeah. You feel pretty well, not hidden in the sky, but you feel pretty quiet and unnoticed. As you kind of fly around, looking over that point where it was. You see where it was standing. You see where the sand has shifted. Any movement
Okay.
beyond that seems to not be existent. You can't tell if it went
Uh,
anywhere. You just saw that it vanished, and you don't know if it teleported, went invisible, or anything.
I'm gonna get a little lower to see if I can investigate the area it was standing.
Roll another perception check. Actually, do investigation because you are
Okay.
looking over the space
Percep-
and trying to. I would do perception or investigation. Actually, your choice.
Roll investigation. I got a 15.
Okay. Yeah, looking over the space, you don't see where it would have gone or where it came from. The only thing that you notice in this space
Mm-hmm.
is the place where it was standing. But as you're kind of hovering around the space, you get a very uneasy feeling being around this spot, and you feel like there's a set of eyes just staring at you, and they are burning a hole through you.
Okay. I'm gonna land, but I want to save my reaction.
You can prepare like the dodge action or something if that's what you're thinking.
It's not the dodge. I was just gonna. Worst case, something comes up. I will be flicking open the locket.
Okay, yeah. So you'd be preparing that spell, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so you kind of walk about. Nothing really happens. It's just you just have this constant unease, like you're being stared at, and as you look and go to check, you don't see anything.
Weird. All right. I'm just gonna be like, well, fuck the spooky ghosts. I'm heading back to base camp then. I'm just gonna keep like a mental note of where that spot was. I'll make my way back to the group.
And as you return to camp, the sun is beginning to peek over the horizon. Uh, the Magnus and the Kobold are actually the first two to awaken as you approach. Um, the Kobold kind of getting up and scraping sand off of himself and kind of stretching it a little bit. Magnus doing the normal thing he does in the mornings. Uh, the rest of you slowly begin to stir, and I want to say, and Draka, you can take 1 point of exhaustion off due to your rest.
The long rest, right?
Yes, it should. I think it should just auto knock one off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you are now all ready to continue your journey for the final stretch of the day. Um,
We on the cruiser thing.
yes. Who hasn't
I'm
made a check
gonna.
yet, or has everyone made a check?
I could do. Do I need to do another
I
check,
think
or was
you
that
haven't done
perception
one. You
counted?
haven't done one for the journey. So yeah, pick one. Pick a skill for the journey for the final stretch of your journey.
I'll do acrobatics.
Tell me how acrobatics would help you get through the desert. Just curiosity.
That is true. I could switch it to perception if that works.
Yeah, like so with these challenges, what I do is you tell me a check and explain to me how it works, or if it's just blatant
Mhm.
like nature or something, then like yeah, then so perception would be good.
Okay, yeah, I'll just do perception then. Roll for that. Got a 12. Lower than
12.
my other ones.
You feel a bit distracted by the sensation that's kind of fallen over you, um, and it's almost made you a bit twitchy, almost like a paranoia that's kind of fallen over you. And it makes it difficult to focus on anything. Your eyes are darting around, and you're trying to see anything that could possibly be coming, but at the same time, you are not taking in the scene as much as you normally do when you are a calm, composed individual. And as you guys continue the rest of your journey, the rest of you do notice the city coming into view. And you also notice, as you do notice around the city, as you guys get a bit closer, and let me describe what the city looks like real quick. You do see the city of Pearl Bay, which looks to be it looks to be a small port city, which some of you are familiar with. Magnus ended up there at one point, and I want to say Errol would have ended up there at one point too. So you would recognize the city. The city itself looks to be, for those who haven't seen it, a few miles wide, consisting of several shorter buildings. You do notice that the area seems to be a bit windier than some of the places you've been so far. A lot of dirt or a lot of sand kicking up as you guys approach it, getting into your eyes and hair and stuck to your skin and things of that nature. And as you guys get to the city, you notice that there seems to be guards everywhere, and there also seems to be makeshift boundaries created in parts of the city, as there are guards stationed around these boundaries, um, and a lot of the boundaries seem to have signs plastered on them that say quarantined. And one of these sections of the city, as you guys enter and begin a slight bit of exploration, it seems the bay has also been quarantined. And it seems to be under some sort of lockdown at the moment.
I get the feeling we should just do a 180 and get out of here, Draka.
No.
Okay.
You don't see the port directly. You see the wall that is blocking the port, and you see probably about a dozen guards stationed within your current line of sight on the street that you guys are on at the moment. And you've seen a lot of guards around this place.
I'm gonna perch on the Cobalt's Warhammer and ask him a question. I just don't know if he'll notice me.
The port's locked down. Based on what you can
No,
tell.
I mean,
I'm talking to
no.
Dread in the chat. Yeah.
Okay.
My bad. Yeah,
He's asking.
How tall is your character? Because this kobold's pretty
3
short.
feet.
Kobolds themselves, let me check if I had a height. He's only about maybe a foot taller than you. He's roughly your height.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna perch on his hammer. Just be like, hey, I got a quick question for you.
He shifts slightly and says, "And what would that be?"
Are you being hunted?
No.
Is there any way to tell if he's lying?
Insight check.
Shit. Nine.
He seems to be telling the truth.
Well, I'm gonna be like, okay. Just wondering. But, I don't know what you guys want to do. I might try to get into the quarantine zone.
It wasn't like this when I was here recently. I don't know what's happening.
How recent were you here?
3 weeks? A month, perhaps? It hasn't been that long. This is definitely...
What do you guys want?
I don't like the look of this.
You think we should talk to some guards? See what's happening?
That could be an idea.
I'm not in any rush to catch the plague.
There's no sign saying it's a plague, just saying it's quarantined.
If you would like to ask, I am not one for these kind of people.
I'll ask.
All right. You hop off the dune cruiser and kind of make your way over to the guards.
I'll tie my kind of scarf as like a makeshift mask over my mouth and nose.
A lot of these guards too. You notice there are several. The about the dozen or so that you see, they seem to be mostly. There's a couple elves, a couple humans. There are 2 or 3 dragonborns, and there is also. I might make you roll a check for this. Well, no, you might have encountered this race while you were up in Amoria. You probably would have. You see a few. There's 1 or 2 tritons, kind of blue-skinned humanoid individuals, kind of greenish hair, who are also kind of in their guard uniforms as well within this space. The first individual to see you is one of the humans, and kind of steps forward and says, "Halt! We're not letting anyone through here."
Yeah, what's the nature of the quarantine? We were hoping to catch passage out through the port, but that looks not to be in the cards.
It's we're not entirely certain of the current plague. It's some sort of disease that came through on one of the ships. We don't fully understand it. And along with it, there's been a few strange. We could only call them murders. We're not entirely sure what's happening.
Wonderful. It's one of those kind of towns. Well, I'll go deliver the news back to my party. Thank you.
Okay.
So take my leave and walk back to the dune cruisers, hop up there, say, "It's a plague."
They say what kind?
They don't have a great understanding of what exactly it is, only that it came in on one of the ships, and that there's been a string of murders since then.
Hmm. Sounds a little weird for a plague to cause murders, but maybe it's like the thing we encountered back in the other city of Mirage.
Maybe. Yeah, a plague that causes you to get stabbed to death wouldn't be much of a plague at all. Maybe a plague of stabbings, but anyway, they're not letting anyone into the city at this current time.
How tight's the security look over there?
Are you asking me? Are you asking him?
I was asking him.
Okay.
I don't know if it did. Was there any difference over there in security wise, or
You guys can see the guards. You wouldn't, from where you're sitting currently, you might have not been able to identify like the specific races, but you definitely could see the number of guards. You can tell there's about a dozen of them. And you've noticed that every single one of these borders that you've run into has had multiple guard. Generally, about a dozen or so at each. They are keeping this place on lockdown, and it seems to be for some very good reason. You also notice that around this point that Magnus and the Kobold kind of wandered off. At some point, when Journey came back, they were both kind of on their way through an alleyway, and kind of disappeared from sight.
they seem to know where they're going? You wanna maybe tag along?
I'm not entirely sure. Magnus really wants us along on whatever he's doing.
Well,
But there's no sense in just sitting here.
he is trying to get back to his homeland, and that requires a boat. So, if he's able to find one, maybe we can.
I'd like to figure out where that boat that carried the plague in came from. Very
Mm,
well, it could have came from the meat grinder.
True.
You're
Do you
right. We
wanna?
should probably try getting in there somehow. Maybe we can help.
Should we try to get into the barricade or follow Magnus and see if they have a way in?
Drake kind of
Eh,
peeps up a little bit and just says, I'm not entirely sure if it's a good idea to go in there. Not a huge fan of getting sick again.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of showing out a bunch of my hard-earned gold to hear one of you again.
Yeah,
No offense, but it was like 100 gold.
none taken.
You and me both drink it. Hey, maybe we're immune if it's the same thing.
Would that be a hell of a coincidence? Of course, there's no such thing.
It's a possibility, I guess. I am curious of what's actually happening here.
Careful, curiosity killed the cat.
She kind of gives you a look and just like, I've heard that one too many times now.
Give her a smile.
Do you have 9 lives, or is that just a myth?
It's a myth.
Huh. Well, I guess you really don't know until you try it out. Alright, let's go exploring.
She kind of looks to Andraka and she says, do you want to try to find a place to leave this? Or...
Oh, yeah. We're just going to abandon it.
Yeah, just try to open my bag of holding real wide and fit a car in it.
Yeah, it opens 2 feet wide and that's it. She's like, shit, I can't fit the car.
Maybe we could find a tarp or something. Cover it up, and then cover it in sand.
Can I bind the car to myself?
No. I will not allow you to soul bond to a fucking dune cruiser.
But it
Hey,
can be a weapon.
it's an arcane artifact.
It can be a weapon.
Yeah, I guess hitting somebody with a car. It's a good
It's
weapon.
not a weapon you can yield, unfortunately. I apologize. As much
Not
as
with that attitude.
as cool as it would be for you to just be like, dune cruiser, psh, I'm not gonna let it happen. There are restrictions to the bounding property.
It's like when Captain Falcon does his final smash and he jumps in the Blue Falcon.
It just appears out of nowhere. No,
Yeah,
you.
I'll find somewhere to park it.
All right. You want to keep it somewhere, or do you just want to park it out in the open somewhere?
I'll try to hide it somewhere.
I wonder if there's a place nearby that'll.
Roll a let's say roll a perception or a investigation check to find a place that would be worthy of hiding this thing.
Don't rely on me. I just got a 12.
Okay, I think
And
Andraka
Draka
did
got it.
pretty
Yeah,
well.
Andraka.
11.
Oh yeah, you
No.
have an exhaustion though, so that's right. Yeah.
Damn.
So you said perception
You know what?
or
I'm going to
investigation?
give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say they were aiding you, and you would have had advantage, so that 23 would have counted. Because I didn't really get to say that. And
That was a nat 20. So.
That was a nat 20? Yes, you do some searching. You do find near the edge of this boundary, there is what looks to be some sort of warehouse that hasn't been touched in some time. The locks seem to be intact. It doesn't appear that many people go through here. And there is chains and other things that you are able to secure your cart down with, as well as locks with their keys within the space.
Perfect.
That's convenient.
You got a natural 20. I'm going to reward you for that. But you guys secure your cart. You secure the space. I assume you take the keys.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly. And you lock up this little warehouse and begin to you guys are heading for Magnus, or you guys gonna? What are you doing? What is your plan?
There's a plan.
I don't know. Do you have a plan?
I was just winging it.
Bird
And then my
pun.
owl chuckles. Yeah. um.
I mean,
Look,
we're parked. I think we just go in. Same path as Magnus and his new friend.
I'll take to the sky then, see if I could locate them and report back.
Perception check.
We're gonna start heading that way.
Perception.
Perception check.
Perception check.
21.
You do.
Perception.
You do identify where Magnus is. You see that in the time that it took you guys to kind of secure the cart and everything, he and the kobold have settled down some distance away on the kind of the edge of a dune on the outskirts of the city, um, overlooking the port. And from your perspective up here as well, you do see within this space, you see within this quarantine zone, it looks to be desolate. There are some of the buildings within the space have been collapsed due to probably what you assume to be fires. The port itself, there are a few boats that seem to have been partially destroyed. There's only probably about 3 or 4 of the 20 ships that are there that look to be in any kind of order to be sailed, but they seem to be chained down to the docks via multiple chains. Um, you also do notice that on these boats there seem to be guards stationed, as well as around the perimeter there are guards stationed pretty much everywhere. It is a almost a full army that looks to be protecting this area. And you see the people within. There are people. Um, they look completely. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, I don't want to use desolate again, but that's the only word I can think of. As many of these people seem to be injured, some of them seem to be injured, covered in bandages. There are some that look to be sick. A black kind of, some of them spitting up what looks to be some sort of black ooze. From the
Mm.
distance you were looking, there are a few who seem to be sleeping in alleyways, kind of as they're laying there. They seem to be almost shivering, even though it is very warm out. There are some that seem to be wandering aimlessly, almost looking like zombies as they're moving about. It is not a good scene within this space.
I'm gonna come back to the group and report that. Let them know where Magnus is. And I might make my way over, like after I explain to one of the guards, and run some questions by him real quick.
Okay, so you're approaching a group of guards?
I'm approaching the group first. Let
Okay.
them know. I don't know if they want to say anything.
So we'll say you said exactly what I said.
Good.
Make it easy.
He's over by the dune. Yeah, basically. What do y'all think?
That's good enough as any other plan.
I don't like the sounds of what's in that wall.
So you undead. I could really use a cleric right about now.
Trinket, I noticed some of them were spitting up like black goo, the same way we were.
That does sound familiar.
They're.
Hey,
Hmm?
didn't we didn't our friend back in Mirage develop a cure for this very illness?
Yeah.
It could be a different disease, though. This wouldn't be the only one that would cause possible symptoms like those. There are quite a few illnesses out there.
Yeah, but this can't be a coincidence.
The cities are relatively close. And if this is the main port for this portion of the island, safe to assume that maybe some of the goods got transported over to Mirage.
There is a chance, I guess, but I don't know. Something seems off. Doesn't
Agree.
something doesn't add up. It's bothering me.
What we encountered in Mirage seemed like it had a good foothold in that area, so to speak. like it had been there for a minute.
Yes, it did seem to be that way.
The kobold did mention that he had been here 3 weeks ago and it wasn't like this. But I don't know if 3 weeks is enough time to set up whatever the hell was going on in Mirage.
It's possible, but it just doesn't seem likely. But I've been wrong in the past, so I don't know. This desert just seems to be plagued with different things.
Yep. Didn't you grow up from around here?
No, I'm from Almoria. I lived in Springfield.
Mm-mm. Well, if you want to head towards Magnus, I might go ask the guards real quick. See if anything matches with what we encountered in Mirage.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, for a lot of people, it's easier to ask for forgiveness and for permission, but I have a way of persuading people.
You want to come with then?
Of
Or are
course,
you going to Magnus?
I'll go with you.
So Andraka and Trinket are going towards. Well, Andraka, who are you following?
I'll follow you.
All right, to the guards it is.
Jacob just kind of pauses for a moment, just kind of lets out a sigh, and follows behind, not wanting to go alone.
And I
So
don't blame her. After
you
the
you
second
all
one.
approach the guards. Similar makeup, various humans and elves. This group also has a few dwarves as well, halflings, um, and one of the elves approach you in this group and just says, uh, "Holt, what business do you have coming over here?"
Um, I had a question about the plague that you are currently experiencing. Would you happen to have any doctors around? I'm
We have a
I have
few that are within the walls already, trying their best to fix whatever this is.
I'm really looking for someone who may have seen this plague up close, and I'm curious to see if this matches up with an experience I had not too long ago.
Let me speak with the others and see what we could possibly do. I don't know of any of our doctors that are outside of the walls at the moment. He kind of turns and
If
pauses.
Before you go, sir, if
Hmm?
if it helps, mention to the other guards that the plague that I ran into, or parasite, also excreted black goo.
I will keep that in mind.
Okay.
He goes over to the other guards and they kind of speak amongst themselves for a moment. One of them kind of looks a little irritated, another one confused, and uh, a few minutes pass of just whatever this argument is between them before he comes back over and he says, "When do we get one of the doctors out of the wall, we can have them meet you somewhere. Are you staying anywhere?"
I'm just going to deploy the tiny hut right there.
Starts casting the tiny hut. All right.
Very near.
Yeah, very close. I
Charge.
what
Spent.
what do the doctors look like? So I know what I'm looking for when they come out.
Well, it depends on the doctor. There are a few that have their own techniques of dealing with such things. Um, you'll be able to tell who most of them are.
They don't have any like distinguishing bands or anything like that.
All of them will be carrying some sort of medical bag.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
gives you a nod and kind of moves back to his post. Kind of settles in back to his post. One of the guards mutters something to him and moves away from him, and he just kind of shakes his head and continues his duty.
Are we out of earshot of them?
Yeah,
We can get in the hut.
Yeah, I was. The hut is
Yeah.
not. You. The sound does go through the hut. It is not soundproof.
Huh.
It is
Okay.
magic and material proof, though. Nothing can pass through it. Sound goes through, but nothing passes through it.
Just gonna kind of whisper to them, just be like, well, now that I know what the doctors look like, screw waiting. I might just see if I can get inside. Speak with one of them myself. If the guards don't seem.
You might
If
want
you can.
to wait until nightfall. We do have probably another 2 hours.
Oh
until-
yeah, of course.
I might make an
Well,
attempt myself.
I can stay
Do
out
you
here,
wanna-
persuade the doctors if they actually do come out. Just
Okay.
go inside my hut, get out of the sun.
Andraka, what about you? All right, fair enough.
I'd just stare at him.
Yeah, that's that was exactly the idea I got when you just like didn't say anything. I was like, he's just staring again. All right, so you all kind of gather within this hut, relaxing for a bit.
I get some shut eye until night falls.
About 2 hours pass and the sun begins to set. You see, you've been watching. Probably about you noticed every hour or so, guards seem to rotate through. You notice that probably about a third of the guards get rotated out every probably what you'd guess to be 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how long it takes for the replacements to show up. So it seems that they stay on post for about an hour and a half and then are taken off for a bit.
When was the most recent guard shift?
The most recent
Change.
would have been. You can wait for one. There was one right around when the sun was setting.
Trinket, when do you think we should head out? Wait for them to change positions, or
Yeah,
Just-
that probably would be the best. She's kind of looking around by this point, and you watch as she's kind of looking around. She turns to Journey and just says, "I'm gonna go move to a better position."
Okay.
I guess.
I'm gonna follow.
I'll stay here to give the effect that we're not up to shenanigans.
And you watch as
Like-
she darts out behind the, in a way that the dome is keeping her from being noticed. You watch as she darts out and quickly turns a corner before beginning to scale a wall. And I'm going to roll a acrobatics check for her on D&D and Beyond. It takes her a bit to start scaling this wall. She's having a bit of trouble getting a hold on some of the parts of the wall before getting to the top. And you notice as she gets up there, she kind of looks around before snapping a finger, and you see this, which you've never seen this before, Errol. This hawk kind of materialize in front of her, landing on her arm as she snaps. And you notice this hawk is different from any hawk you've ever seen. It seems to be, instead of covered in feathers, seems to be covered in similar fur like her own.
Interesting.
Um,
Heads up, I did roll a stealth.
yes, I saw that. Yeah, that was
Okay.
good. Good enough for, if you're following her, you would have passed it pretty easily.
Yeah.
And you see her whisper something to this hawk before it takes off into the air. And then she begins to make her way across the roof to to the end of the building, which is roughly pretty close to the edge of the wall that is there. And she kind of crouches and is just waiting for a moment, just kind of sitting there.
It's gonna be in her shadow behind her.
And night falls, the sun sets, and you watch as it does. She kind of glances back to you and just says, "It's time." And you watch as she rushes forward and leaps over the edge of this building. And as she does, you see her pull from her pocket a small feather that she waves in the air in front of her, and this almost a silvery haze forms around her as she begins to slowly descend downwards at an angle, going just over this wall. I'm going to roll a stealth check to see how stealthy she was while she did it. And right past the guards that are now switching, she glides past them and lands on the other side and quickly dashes into an alleyway.
Is there shadows in the alleyway?
There are shadows. You could easily just shadow walk there.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shadow step.
So you shadow step down to where she is, and you see her sliding the feather back into her pocket, kind of glancing back to see if any of the guards noticed her before casually kind of sitting up a little bit, and turns to you and just says, "Where do you think we should go first?"
Let's get our bearings real quick. I'm gonna look around. I roll a perception for
Perception
this.
check. I'm going to give you advantage because she's helping you.
Oh right. First one is a 23.
You may not need it.
We will take the
Yeah,
23.
we're taking the 23. You get a pretty good idea of where you are, considering you did get a good look of a very large portion of the city while in the air.
Mhm.
You have an idea. You kind of know where some of the buildings are collapsed. You know where a lot of the sick were. What general area do you want to try to go to?
Boats are going to be heavily protected because they don't want people to be
Leave.
using them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Is there any buildings that would have stood out during my flyby before?
I would say with both of those roles being really good, you would have noticed that there are 3 or 4 buildings that seem to be having constant traffic through them. Which
Like,
you would assume that they've probably been turned into makeshift medical centers or some sort of residential area that people are passing through.
okay. So I'm going to say to Trinket, so there's some medical or high traffic area or buildings over in this direction. I don't know if we want to go that way and risk getting caught, but I don't think we should be heading towards the boats to investigate the origin since they're pretty well guarded.
I think we're maybe past the point of being caught. If we try to leave, yes, we would be caught, but I don't think we have much to worry about while we're in the walls.
Oh, true. We could blend in. I'm just worried about getting whatever this is, so we got to be careful about any possible infected people along the way. Do you want to skirt around the outside of the building, see if we notice anything, any holes like before? Keep an eye out for a doctor, maybe.
Possibly just blend in, keep your face covered. I don't know of much else that we can really do.
That works as well.
She kind of
Just gonna
gives
cover
you a
my
nod,
face.
and you see as she pulls over a cover that she had kind of around her neck already.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull up my cloth a little bit to cover my mouth and then bring my hood down a little more.
She kind of gives you a nod, begins to kind of follow you through the town towards these locations. You do, after a brief time, kind of passing around, you do come across one of the first areas, and as you kind of look it over, it does look to be some sort of, I guess you would call it a medical center, if you can call it that. There are people kind of sitting around on the outside, some of which look deathly ill, others looking to be in early stages of whatever this disease is.
Mm.
and you do see on the inside there are individuals who seem to be speaking with some of these sick, some of which wearing cloths over their face. You see one that looks to be wearing what can only be described as a sort of mechanical gas mask, and there are two or three that look to be wearing uh, almost plague doctor masks, kind of the bird beak with the glass lenses over them as they are speaking with individuals. But there's about 8 or 9 of them within the space talking to the sick.
You want to go talk with them, Trinket?
Probably help.
All right. Well, let's get going.
She nods and follows you inside. The individual's kind of not really paying you much attention as they're kind of leading different individuals in different places or sending them to different areas. It takes probably about 3 or 4 minutes to get to one of them due to all the people. And who would you like to try to approach? Kind of.
One of the doctors.
Upon closer look, they all seem to be doctors, the ones talking to the people. Do you want to try to approach one with one of the masks or the cloth coverings, or
We'll go to. You said there was one with a mechanical mask, right?
yes, like some sort of gas mask of some sort?
Let's go talk with him.
All right, you approach this individual, and upon getting close to them and kind of actually seeing them, they appear to be a half orc, based on the color of their skin. Kind of the slightly greenish skin tone that they have. They kind of look to you and just say, "There's. How can we help you?"
I had some questions about this disease, sir. If you don't mind.
Kind of tilts his head slightly to the side. He says, "Are you not infected?"
No, I'm just in the quarantine area. They won't let me leave.
He kind of looks around and he gestures to you to follow him. And he kind of moves over to the side room that seems to have no one in it. Going inside, stopping just inside the room. As you and Trinket both enter the room, and he closes the door. He pulls the mask off his face, and you can see the a pair of kind of filed down tusks that are barely peeking over his lower lips. Kind of reveal themselves, and he kind of looks towards you, and he says, "Well, if you're not infected, I assume you haven't been here that long."
I don't understand.
Shut up, Siri. I'm taking my watch off because she's just talking to me.
No, sir, we haven't. We actually came in from Mirage not too long ago, where we encountered something that gives me. I don't know. This plague is giving me deja vu.
All right.
There were some creatures in I guess a cavern or a hole, whatever you want to call it. But my friend and I here were bitten by these individuals and soon started experiencing dizziness, nausea. I became blind for a short period of time, but then also our blood seemed to become black, almost like sludge. And I wanted to know if these were matching up with uh, what exactly are the symptoms of this plague?
Well, it does sound familiar to some of the cases we've had, but it seems we're dealing with a couple different things at the moment. We haven't really told too many, trying to keep panic down as much as possible. But yes, that definitely seems to be one of the strains that seems to be around here.
Do any of the individuals have audio hallucinations? Almost like something's calling them?
We haven't had anything reported of that. Most of them have seemed a bit off, though. I'll have
Off
to
in
ask.
what kind of way?
Distant. They seem to be They mutter to themselves, and a bit of delirium. I haven't gotten any reports of voices, but mental deterioration definitely seems to be a factor.
Are any of the individuals later on into the disease lashing out by any chance? Biting?
We haven't had any cases get that far, because usually we've declared a certain point is what we can only consider irredeemable and irreversible, and we've eliminated such subjects, is the only way to really put it, and proceeded to burn any bodies to try to prevent any spread.
All of them have been eliminated once they reach this point? You're saying none of them?
All that we know
been
of, we have killed ourselves using the most humane tactics possible. Most of which have been some sort of lethal injection or some of the stronger of us have used weapons to do a clean cut.
I'm gonna say I need a second to think. Trinket, do you have anything?
She kind of shakes her head. She says, thinking of this, though, what are the other things that you are speaking of? He kind of glances towards the door a little bit and looks back, and he says, we have had a few that have acted a bit irrationally. There are a few that have been violent and have had a strange impulse to try to feast on carcasses that have been left behind. And most of those individuals, sometime after we've caught them doing such things, if we weren't able to eliminate them then, seem to just disappear. We're not entirely sure where they've gone.
Does it change their body in any way? Elongation of limbs, extension of jaw widening.
The individuals that we've seen after they were consuming carcasses seem to almost... The only thing I can think of is there was some bodily alterations, but it was mostly strange bone extrusions starting to form out of the skull, and the skull itself seeming to morph as the body seemed to grow in size. But we haven't gotten the chance to see one after a certain point. But we've only had a few of these cases.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, we've only had a few of these cases.
I'm gonna kind of look up at Trinket and be like, I may have saw one of these out in the desert on our way here.
He kind of looks towards you and he says, you're saying that a possible infected individual has escaped the zone?
Escaped? I don't know. I'm not quite sure how real the creature was, so to speak. He appeared early morning and then pointed at me and screamed, but then vanished almost instantly. I went to investigate the area. There was no signs of moving around, anything like that. So I don't know exactly what I'm dealing with, but
Don't think
do you,
you ran into one of the things that we're dealing with, but it does seem like an odd case.
hmm, what about the one of the guards mentioned it came in on a boat. Is that boat still here by any chance?
It's one of the partially destroyed ones. Um, I'm not entirely sure
Sure.
what had happened, but the rumor is whenever this thing began, it caused some people to set some things off and destroy some of the stuff in the area. We're not entirely sure what had happened.
Your teams noticed any holes in the ground? Large enough to maybe fit a person.
No. Not that we've noticed in the bit of surveying we've done, but well, it's been a little hard to do any kind of surveying considering all of the sick. And we've tried to get a hold of a few clerics, but well, the ones that we had come through, one or two of them have disappeared by this point. Other physicians have also gone missing, but we're not entirely sure what has happened to them. We've only ever found 3 bodies so far.
You know what area they went missing in, sir?
It seems to be different, but it's away from any of these centers, so we tend not to stray too far anymore.
Do you have a map by any chance that you could point out the location?
I do not have one on me. Give me a moment. He kind of wanders out of the room, putting his mask on before he goes out, and a few moments pass, and he comes back in with
I was gonna
very...
say in the meantime, could I ask Trinket it's up then?
Yeah, you can ask her why he's gone.
I was gonna be like, do you want to see if we can get the rest of the group in here as well? Maybe get a pass from the doctor.
I don't know if this might even be worth pursuing. This sounds...
Fair.
I think we should console the others before we try anything.
Yeah. At least we'll get the map and figure out where some of the disappearances are happening.
She gives you a nod. The doctor kind of comes back in, pulls his mask off again, sets it down on the table within the room, and strews out this very crudely drawn map of kind of the area. You can kind of get an idea of what it is, and he's takes out a piece of charcoal that he had in one of the pouches on him. Begins to mark spots. He says there's about 6 or 7 he marks, and he says these are the area. This is the areas that we last saw, the ones that we know of. The others, they had just left the area and then just disappeared. We don't know where they went. The cleric was here and here, and he points to kind of 2 areas near the port. He says, we only found one of them. His body mutilated beyond almost recognition. It took quite some time to be able to identify him. The other we haven't seen.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Gives you a nod and kind of folds up the paper.
Would I be able to take that with me?
Sure. He kind of offers it to you.
Let me grab that. Trinket, you think we should head out?
She gives you a nod, kind of seeming a little nervous.
For your time, sir, and then I'm going to give him 20 gold.
He takes it. He says, safe travels, and, well, may the gods bless you with purity over this disease.
Before we leave, I'm just gonna be like, keep this meeting to yourself, and then we'll head out.
Okay. And you both exit the building, kind of make your way. Where are you trying to go now?
I think we should regroup with the rest of the people, let them know.
So you have it easy. Trinket is
does it.
Trinket's going to try to find her own way, which you see as you guys approach the wall. She cast a spell, and you watch as she turns invisible because she cast invisibility on herself.
Alright, do I need to roll a stealth? We're gonna just shadow step to the other side.
You could easily shadow step. She is going to roll her stealth, but she gets advantage, and she, Journey and Andraka, what were you doing while the others had left?
Nothing.
Hanging out.
Just hanging out.
I probably summoned Boltion. I'm just petting him.
You summon Boltion. Just okay. So roughly around probably about 2 hours ish after Trinket had disappeared. You guys are sitting there, and as you're sitting there, sudden break in the silence. You just hear, "Hey," and that's kind of just Trinket coming in. She just says, "Hey," kind of close to your shoulder, without you expecting it.
I'm gonna sidestep into someone's backpack and just be in there. Like as soon as she opens the curtain, I'm just in the room.
Oh, it's the dome. You can't see through the dome, so it's impossible to see through because it's opaque.
Damn.
But she steps in and just kind of comes up behind Journey and just says, "Hey, we're back." She's invisible, so you just hear a voice, Journey.
I'm just gonna. You know how owls walk? Have you guys ever seen the videos of them?
Yes, I love the
Yeah, I'm just
videos
gonna
of owls walking.
hobble in, just hobble in like that. I'm like, we found a doctor.
Nice. What do you say?
Well, the disease sounds similar, but we're not quite sure if it's exact.
Yeah, you guys RP this for a second. I'm gonna.
All right. So it's not quite similar. They do have similar-ish symptoms to what Trinket and I had, the whole ooze and hazy vision. He also mentioned that some of them do become aggressive, but before they reach the later stages, it sounds like they terminate them prior. However, and I'm gonna pull out the map and lay it out. Be like he was telling us how some of the doctors and clerics had gone missing. These charcoal points indicate where physicians were and then never really reported back. And then he mentioned, and I'll point over towards the shipping area, I guess. He said there's 2 clerics over here. One of them went missing, and they didn't find their body until later, and it was heavily mutilated.
Obviously, we should investigate those points. I was going to suggest that it might be necessary to allow some of these barriers to reach the final phases of their condition, but it sounds like, well, there might be creatures out there that have already reached that stage and are killing off healers.
Yeah, from what they said in the studies is, it sounds like they get a little too out of hand for them to study it later on. But I agree, there might be pockets where these creatures have been able to evolve further and they're taking out any guards. The doctor mentioned they don't stray far from, and I'll point to like the area that we were at. He's like, they don't stray far from this region anymore.
Perhaps we should send word back to Barrage. Maybe Icarus can come down here. He'd probably be paid for his work.
How do we go about sending that message?
Yes, I suppose this place doesn't really have a functional economy right now.
Yeah, they seem to be a little preoccupied.
I don't exactly want to pay somebody to potentially carry it to Mirage. Condition that is. Now, perhaps we should investigate all this firsthand.
Trinket says,
Um,
I could send my familiar, and she snaps her fingers again. And the hawk reappears, sitting in front of her on the ground.
That'd probably be of help.
if memory serves me right, Magnus kept a piece of one of those creatures.
That would be
You think?
convenient.
Do
Perhaps
you think he's willing to part with it?
We would have to find him first.
Oh, yeah. You didn't see him on your way into the city?
He was over near the dunes, but that was several hours ago.
Okay. Well, if you could somehow convince him to part with it, we got here fast enough that hopefully the physicians here will be able to perform a biopsy.
You think I should go find him real quick?
Yeah, maybe perhaps Trinket could talk him into it.
Even if he doesn't want to part with it, I have ways to retrieve it.
She nods and kind of quickly pulls out from her her bag. She kind of goes through it for a moment before pulling out a piece of parchment, some ink, begins to write something down before kind of rolling up the parchment and attaching a string to it before giving it to her familiar and sending it out.
One last question. You're
Yeah.
moving stealthily. I assume you didn't get official permission to move from the city.
Of course not.
Of course not.
We. No, I'm gonna laugh and just be like, no, we weren't spotted until we got in, and then once we were inside the perimeter, I think they just assumed we were one of the sick.
Well,
Made the
I'm kind of
off.
tired of staying with. Wait. Trinket, perhaps Boltian would be a better messenger. He can probably cover farther distance in less time than your familiar.
That is true, and she kind of, as she's thinking about this, the hawk actually comes back in. Kind of settles, and she takes the letter back. She offers it to you.
Give it. I'll take it and I'll hand it to Boltian. Would you be able to deliver this to Icarus? You remember Icarus, right?
He
From the crazy death race.
gives you a nod, and kind of
Excellent.
not a whimper, but like kind of like how huskies talk to people, kind of like some sort of noise like that.
Give a
What
nice
is
scratch behind the ear.
Voltron?
He's a blink hound.
What the hell is that?
It is
It's like a teleporting dog. They're very nice.
It's a fey creature.
That's so cool.
Basically, we rescued him. I rescued from like animal traffickers in our second session of this campaign. So I have like an orb that I can use to summon him from wherever he's doing. But I don't really pull him out very often.
Yeah,
I don't want to get him hurt.
the orb is essentially works as a summoning device to summon him from the Feywild.
Cool.
Yeah,
So-
he's a good boy, basically.
It's like
So
session 2, you got him.
yeah, it was exactly session 2. So I'll hand the letter over to him. I'll wrap it in some kind of cloth because I would assume him like carry it in like his mouth or something. He doesn't have a
Mhm.
collar.
Yeah. So
Then I'll give it. Head back to Mirage and give this to Icarus. Okay.
he gently takes it from you and kind of gives you a nod before turning, and as he jumps forward, he just kind of he disappears.
I figure we might need the use of your familiar still, Trinket. Now, I definitely have the skills to get into the city. Andraka, do you feel confident about getting into the city? Screw it. I'll just cast invisibility on the both of us. should the need arise.
Should we try to get the thing from Magnus first, or just head straight in?
I feel we should probably hunt down Magnus first. It would just save us a trip into the city. We don't want to get into the city, go back for Magnus, and get back in. You know.
Mhm.
What do you think, Trinket?
I'm not entirely sure with this whole situation. There's a lot of moving pieces that I don't fully understand.
I'm not too confident Magnus really cares about the people of the city. He just wants to get a boat.
He seems to have
But I'm
other things that he is dealing with.
their priorities. I'm not going to let these people sit and suffer. I'm no cleric, but it's the right thing to do.
It is. I just hope we don't suffer for it.
Hey, who knows? We might find some cursed items, or get cursed.
I would rather avoid such a fate.
Live life on the edge. Let's go find our favorite edgelord.
All right. So how do you want to try to find Magnus?
Gonna shoot straight up into the air, look for him.
It's just like an eruption, just disappears into the sky.
All 55 speed.
It's like watching a fucking comet take off. Just
Gotta go fast.
yeah. All right.
It's gonna.
Roll a perception check to see if you can find Magnus in the dead of night.
All right. Bingo. 26.
26.
He's a big boy. I'll be able to see him.
So it does
Hopefully.
it does take you a bit of time. You do go back over to where the dunes were, and you do not see him nor the kobold. Though, after a little bit of kind of searching around, you do notice that there seems to be something moving around within the waters of the kind of just off the coast. And as you kind of fly a little closer, you do see Magnus swimming about staying roughly about 3 or 4 feet under the water as he's swimming around. The kobold, on the other hand, you do not notice where he is. He seems to be well hidden somewhere. You're not sure where.
Well, I cannot swim, so. Gonna go let the others know that I found him at least.
Okay. So you
Just
return
he's
to the
in-
rest of the group.
He's in the water.
That's full trying to swim back home.
Yep. Well, I can't swim, so I can maybe catch his attention, but oh, did I notice any like patrol boats or anything?
There doesn't seem to be anything out in the waterway. The only thing you've really noticed is that there are guards on the ships, and that is the closest thing to anyone being on the water.
Ooh.
Well, the dune cruiser should be able to go over the water. The name's a bit of a misnomer.
Wait, actually?
Technically, it's in its design.
hovercraft.
It would stay roughly about a foot over the water.
It's a hovercraft.
That's crazy.
It's
Oh,
not
that's
it's
sick.
not as fast as a ship would be, but it is essentially a hovering platform. A ship you would get places faster with a ship. The dune cruiser would be relatively slow, and it would take a decent amount of time to get anywhere above water.
Pandraka, you feel like becoming a sea captain?
Can't Andraka just catch up to him in the water?
Is this because he's a lizard? Are you saying he can swim well because he's a lizard?
Yes.
It seems a bit specious to me. I don't think there's anything about lizard folks being good at swimming. I don't think that's an actual feature of the lizard folk, but I could be wrong.
I thought it was, but I'm also 2 weeks into this game.
Yeah, I can double check. I don't think they are.
No, I don't see
No,
anything. on that.
there's nothing about them being good at swimming. Okay, so technically, you can choose whether your character can swim or not. Technically, if you can swim, you swim. Your swim speed is half your movement speed.
I see. All right, we grabbing the dune cruiser, or
Let's get the car.
pull up next to him.
Okay, so you guys are just getting into the cruiser, and your guys are gonna go pursue Magnus with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys unrig your systems and kind of get everything together, you do make your way towards where Magnus had been spotted. And as you guys are moving along there, it takes probably roughly an hour or so to kind of get back to where he was. And doing a bit more searching, you do end up kind of spotting where he is. He's seeming to linger around the just a distance away from the outer perimeter of this, kind of away from the docks where these ships are chained to the docks and there are guards moving around. You do see him kind of floating in the water. He's now kind of peaked up a little bit. He's just taking in the scene.
Yeah. I think the negotiations are all yours, Trinket.
I don't want to have to play his character, and I'm checking something real quick to make sure
I'll be right
if
back.
I need to or not. Yes, take your breaks. If you need breaks, take your breaks real quick.
Yeah, I'm eating sushi right now.
30 maybe. Okay, sushi. Interesting choice. I haven't had
My
sushi.
favorite food.
I haven't had sushi in a long time.
That's my favorite food because my mom's a pescatarian, so she got me into it at a young age.
I got you. I was gonna have some sloppy joes tonight, but I didn't eat those, and it's too late to eat food, so just been snacking
It's
on
never
things.
too late to eat food.
It is when you're trying not to fucking get fat, because I feel like I'm getting fat, or at least I think I'm getting fat. I don't know what's happening to me. I was so
I always
skinny in
make it-
high school, and now I'm fat.
Your body's just filling out.
It's because I stopped exercising. That's the problem. It's the pinnacle of my. This is the fucking center point of my issues. Okay, I guess you guys do. You guys do kind of make your way towards Magnus, and kind of looking around this. At the docks too, kind of taking in the scene. You do notice that like some of the ships that looked a little more intact that you had noticed, also you didn't notice from where you were, but they have large holes in the backside of it where you didn't necessarily see. And it seems that whatever happened here was a huge chaotic situation that happened within a very short time before things settled and they were able to start walling things off.
Okay.
But you do get to Magnus, who is kind of glances back at all of you as you kind of cruise up roughly a foot above the water in this cruiser. He kind of looks back towards the docks. Doesn't really say anything. Let's see what he types to me. It's an interesting situation. I have to read what he's writing. This is a new situation for me.
You're the messenger.
Yes. He kind of turns to all of you and just kind of... He almost growls a little bit and just turns and just says, "You need to go elsewhere. You're going to get me caught." I don't know. I'm trying to be Magnus. I don't know how to play your character, bro. I'm sorry. I'll try it better, but it's the best I got.
You still got that lump of flesh?
Will you give up that lump of flesh? That's a weird question. It sounds like a prompt you would get in, like, a horror game, like Silent Hill or something. Will you give up the lump of flesh?
Yeah, it's just like an item you find. It has like a weird description. It doesn't have any uses until like really late into the
You
game.
are about to destroy the following item: a child. Do you wish to proceed? It's my favorite thing. I think I was a RuneScape joke that someone had done. They like had an item that they named a child or something. It just says, "Take it. Don't bring more attention to me." So Magnus throws you the chunk of meat, flesh, whatever it is, and continues,
Just,
and then begins to swim away from you guys.
Let's
Kind of,
hastily throw it in the bag of holding.
yes. So you chuck it in the bag of holding, and he's gone underwater and has started swimming elsewhere.
Such a strange man. Okay, let's get back to the shore, and then we can get into the city.
You begin to make your way back. Who would like to roll? Anyone can roll a perception check for this. That's round for this.
Owl guy, you have the best perception, don't you?
I got a 12 for my roll. Awesome.
You do. You
Are they
kind of
helping me?
looking
Oh,
over
shit.
the space. You do kind of you see the guards. Kind of some of them have kind of noticed you and kind of looking at you as you guys kind of pass off. A little confused by the fact that you came floating off of the water with the dune cruiser. But other than that, you don't really notice anything else out of the ordinary. You guys get back to that space that you had found and reclaim it, kind of setting up the cruiser back within space, kind of chaining it down and everything else.
Alright, I think we make for that doctor of yours.
Alright. We gotta get inside first.
Stealth checks to get in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trey kind of turns to you and just says, "Do you have any teleportation spells of any kind? Anything that could make it easier for you to get past the guard?"
Well, I've got Dimension Door, but I could also just cast Invisibility on Draka myself.
That is true, but I guess my thought is, if even though you're invisible, you can still be heard. I don't know how stealthy the two
Screw
of
it.
you
I'm
can
just
be.
going to take Andraka into the tiny hut, which is a concentration spell. So, just give me a description. I can imagine the location where we need to go.
The
And
tiny
then
hut's
I
gone.
can get.
The tiny hut actually disappears when you step out of it.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, I can just teleport us in then. I was gonna say, I was gonna get the hut since the concentration spell and use it, and then we'll just disappear at the hut. But okay.
Yeah, you can just do the dimension door. I'm gonna help you save a spell slot, and just say do the dimension door only.
Okay.
I'm back.
Yeah, she
What are we
gives you
doing?
kind of a description of a place, and kind of gives you a distance, the best she can. Let's see how well she can describe it. It's a pretty good description. So she gives you something to work with, before her and Errol kind of make their way to the rooftops again. And you
Like
dimension
Assassin's
door
Creed.
to the
And you
space.
said
Yeah.
that still takes a spell slot, right?
Yeah, it'll take the spell slot. Yeah, I'm trying to save you from using the hut again to use the spell slot.
Yeah. Okay. I used it.
She is going to make her stealth check to get back across, which she passes with flying colors. As you watch as she does the same thing that she had done before. This time you get to see it for the first time, Journey. Her jump over the wall and wave a feather in front of her that causes this almost silver shimmer around her as she kind of almost not floats, but like slowly descends past these guards that just happen to not notice her silently pass by, and then
I think I have a
lands.
featherfall token thing too.
Yeah, and then lands quietly on the other side, and then dashes off towards an alley for a moment, glancing back, and then putting up her hood and kind of making her way towards you. Errol just kind of appears in a shadow not too far away. Just, what up?
Hello.
That was easy.
Hello there.
I guess let's get to the medical center, I guess. Trinket kind of begins making her way towards that direction. Welcome back, Dread.
Hi. Yes. Figuring out how phone does speaker, but doesn't really matter. I can still hear you.
Your voice sounds all different.
It's because he's on phone.
Yeah. How's dinner?
Yes. I usually have a professional grade microphone.
How was dinner?
Yeah, I'm in a hotel room in Jamaica, way more drunk than I thought I was gonna be. So
You're
let's
in
see how this goes.
Jamaica? That's fucking lit. I'm just in my
Yeah.
apartment.
I didn't know I was coming here until the day I got on the plane.
That sounds about right. All right. I'll explain to you what you've been seeing. You've been seeing pretty much the same things. Most of the ships are destroyed. You have noticed the guards that have been on most of these ships, and that they have been heavily chained down to prevent any sort of evacuation of said ships. And you haven't really noticed any other watercrafts that can be taken that wouldn't sink not long after leaving the bay. Mainly due to the severe damage a lot of them have within them from whatever occurred here before this quarantine began. As for the rest of you, you guys make your way along the interior part of this space, getting to the medical center. Seeing that a lot of the sick have kind of either vacated or disappeared from the area, they kind of gone elsewhere. And as you all enter this medical wing, you do find there are only about 3 of those doctors you had seen before, one of which is the half-orc with the mechanical mask. One of the others looks to be a elven girl who has a kind of a cloth around her neck that she was using as a face cover, and the last one looks to be a man dressed in kind of a white, almost like doctor's cloak, and is wearing a black kind of plague doctor type mask that he is slowly beginning to remove as you guys enter the space. And he looks to be a human man of sorts. They all kind of glance in your direction, and the half-orc, who is still wearing his mask, steps forward and says, what brings you back here so soon?
Greetings. We've never met. And I put my hand in the bag I'm holding and take out this lump of flesh. This is a sample of the creature that produced a similar affliction in Mirage. Perhaps performing a biopsy on it might give you some insight into the plague being spread here.
He kind of looks over to the elf, and she kind of steps forward, grabbing a kind of a rag, and coming over and kind of taking it from you, kind of giving it an odd look before taking it into another room, kind of down out of this front lobby area through a hallway. He kind of glances back to all of you and just says, where did you said you got this in Mirage? What?
These were the creatures that I was talking about earlier.
Gotcha. I don't really know how to really respond to this. I wasn't expecting to get such a thing. Are any of you feeling any ailments of any kind? Or are you simply here to learn?
To learn.
All right. Well, I did already explain to you everything I know, and I assumed you probably already passed it to your friends. Um, do you need a place to stay, I guess? I'm not entirely sure what else we can do at the moment.
Do you have badges that we could have? We don't want to get too many questions by the authorities, so something to help out with that.
We're all known by name. That's kind of how we get in and out. They know us by name and face. And we haven't left in some time. A few of us go out every so often to get more supplies, but that's about it. We tend to keep ourselves within the zone as to not accidentally spread any of this.
Well, anyway, you could let. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
We've sent word back to Mirage, to the doctor who cured the ailment there. We're hoping that he might be able to support your efforts here.
Well, that is certainly good news. Something I didn't expect to be hearing. I didn't know of anyone that had a cure. May I
Worked on me.
ask his name and possibly some sort of description that we can let the guards know of to have him come here?
His name is Icarus, and what species was he again?
UNT, as you know. UNT
He's
Blue
a
Blood.
He's a UNT.
UNT. Interesting. I guess I'll make sure to get word out tonight. But if you need somewhere to stay, we do have rooms that are currently unoccupied. I probably wouldn't use any of the beds, but it is a place that you can stay for the night.
Perhaps it would be best if we stayed outside the city walls. What do you think, Trinket?
She kind of ponders over a second and just says, It may be difficult to keep moving back and forth without being noticed.
That's true.
Should we go investigate the locations on the map? I don't know if we need sleep. Actually, does anyone need sleep?
I would probably say we should probably rest for the night.
Okay.
Only because
There's wisdom in that.
Whatever creatures are out there, I do not want to encounter them in the dark.
I agree.
I'm gonna sleep on the roof.
Okay. Kind of gestures over to the human man that's over there and just says, "Can you take them to one of the cleaner rooms that isn't being used right now? I'm gonna go head to the wall and see what I can pass over." The guy he's talking to kind of gives a nod and kind of gestures for you all to follow him. He ends up leading you all to a... Oh my god, that's a fucking big roach. That scared the shit out of me. There's a roach on my desk. I'm literally fucking losing my mind. Holy shit, that scared the bejeebus out of me. He's coming towards me! Give me a minute. I'm having a fucking crisis. Where's my shoe?
Get the flamethrower.
Start for hello.
Do you have a body spray and a lighter?
I'm getting the most powerful weapon, a flip-flop.
And you
Prepare for devastation!
Take out like a can of Axe body spray and a lighter.
Yep.
I got it. I gotta throw out
some
this
sick roleplay.
This is how you exterminate pest. God damn. I knew they were gonna come back. God damn it.
We're coming back with a vengeance.
Motherfucker just came crawling along the desk like, ooh, what's this? What is this wonderful place that I'm in? looking dead ass in my eyes, like you ain't gonna do anything. As I go and get a flip flop and end his existence. All right, what was I before being attacked?
Here, one sec. I gotta go do something, but just assume my character's asleep on the roof and we'll follow.
Yes. Okay, so you all, yeah, that's what I was saying. You are led to a room, one of the upper floor rooms within this building, and kind of left there. The room itself, the bed that was in there, it seems to have been stripped away, probably to prevent any people from getting any diseases from a past patient that might have been within the space. Though the room does look decently clean compared to some of the other parts of this hospital or medical center. I assume you all will rest. I don't know, are you all staying within the room or are you going to try to sleep elsewhere?
I'll stay within the room.
Roof.
But I'll kind of like I have like my scarf tied over my face and that kind of stuff to protect myself.
Mm-hmm. All right. Draka, I'm going to need a con save from you because winter has arrived.
9.
A 9? Take a point of exhaustion. You do not recover a point of exhaustion from this, so you're back to 3, I think. Draka's going to end up fucking killing himself because he refuses to sleep indoors. Okay.
So long rest.
Yes, you all take a long rest. Jared technically gets the benefits of it, except for the decrease in exhaustion, which he instead gets an increase due to the cold. Magnus,
Now I have all
we'll
slots
go to
back.
you as you are swimming about. What would you like to do as you are hanging around in the water? It's roughly probably 1 in the morning.
I still need to know about like, because really at this point, it can even be the size of a dinghy. At the most, it needs to be able to have a sail affixed to it.
You don't see anything that is intact except for on the actual main vessels.
Intact does not matter.
There are ships that seem to be partially sinking, where they're like the only reason they are up is because of shallow water due to holes. There are others that look to be possibly fixable, but it would require some effort due to the amount of damage that has been done to them. The main ships, the 3 that are still intact, are pretty decent sized ships, and they do appear to have 1 or 2 of them do appear to have a sort of additional kind of almost like like a lifeboat on them, like a smaller vessel that can be used. That seems to be on the deck of these ships. And there are guards that are patrolling each of these ships and seem to be staying on these ships.
One of those smaller broken down vessels, Magnus is going to look for one that is the closest to a long ship, because of course he's going to find something he's more comfortable with. And then he's going to look for one of those that are even sunken, as long as they are in deeper water.
Okay. Looking through them, the kind of the smaller, longer ships that are along there, there's only one that seems to be not completely sunken, and it seems to be being held up by ropes that it is fixed to the dock with. This one appears to be. It has a decent sized hole, probably roughly about the size of a body, in the kind of bottom side of it. The other ones you did see seem to be, some of them seem to be split in half. There's 1 or 2 of them that seem to be missing a decent portion of the side and the bottom. This is probably the most intact one out of all of them that you did see.
All right. So there is a hole that would cause it to sink if it was not suspended.
Yes.
Perfect.
And it's about half sunk as of right this moment. But in the portion that is sunk under the water seems to be the part that has the hole within it.
That's all right. I want to cut the ropes.
Okay. That's not a hard feat. So you do cut the ropes, and the hull of the ship does seem to dip deeper into the water and kind of go down a bit further as you keep cutting the ropes. And as you do, it just slowly kind of tries to make its way towards the bottom.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna swim to the bottom because I'm gonna I'm not gonna let it I'm not gonna wait for it to hit the bottom before I start this. But actually, yeah, I'll take some of the ropes I cut to do this. I'll tie them to whatever part that's already submerged that seems solid enough. And then Magnus is going to go to the bottom of the water, to the floor. He's going to drag it.
I'm going to say...
Now, underwater, things weigh less.
I'm gonna say athletics with disadvantage, mainly because this is a funky situation. Because trying to keep yourself at the bottom is a challenge in itself. And I know dragging things in water, generally they are lighter, but there are things in the water that would get it caught as well. So that's what I'm going to say with disadvantage. It's a peculiar situation.
The extremely strong one can breathe underwater, Tyler.
I know
Shit
this.
like this happens.
Yeah,
Shit like this
I
happens.
know this. I'm just kind of... It's peculiar. I've seen Stranger, but it's a thing going on.
Oh yeah, of course. Let's see. D&D Beyond on mobile is annoying because it certain stuff is not on the same spot. But now I can use my own dice, so that's cool.
I like the mobile app. Mobile
23.
app is efficient. 23. I'm going to say, due to doing this, and because of how long it's going to take, I assume you're dragging this away from the thing and then bringing it up to the shoreline to try to fix it.
Right now, I just want to take it away from the port. I don't need, as long as I can secure it in the water, I don't see the need to bring it onto the shore tonight.
Okay, I'm going to say due to the time that it takes to do this, I'm going to say take a point of exhaustion due to not sleeping through the night. Because it will take you most of the night to move this thing along. Especially to a point that it would be far enough from the docks to be unsuspicious or not suspicious. But you do succeed, and you would be able to get back to the shore roughly around the time the sun is rising.
Yeah, right.
So the new day has started. I assume you're just gonna the next day try to continue this, or are you gonna rest and then do it?
Will it take the entire day to bring the ship out onto the coast?
I would say it would take a pretty decent portion of the day.
Yeah, I'll do that because after that he's just gonna fucking sleep.
Okay. So I'm not going to require a roll for that right now. For the rest of you, you do wake up the next morning within this medical center. And Draka, you have gotten cold again in the night, gained another point of exhaustion, and tonight you do take... you wake up with 4 points of cold damage that you took from the night due to how cold it had gotten in the night. And being cold-blooded, you are affected by it a lot worse than everyone else. So you all wake up the next morning, kind of regroup at the the lobby of this medical center, and the doctors that are in here, you notice the half orc is missing. The others seem to be getting things together, but the half orc is nowhere around.
That's not good. I'm assuming he's dead.
Could always ask.
Yeah, might as well.
Who would you like to approach to ask such a question?
Who looks like a man of authority?
They all look to be on equal playing field. there is
Fuck.
there is the three of them that have the plague doctor mask. The human you had seen the night before seems to be messing with a few things with his mask sitting on a kind of a space in front of him. The other two seem to already be wearing theirs and preparing for those who are coming in to gain any sort of help. The others, most of them just have cloths over their faces, kind of going about their business at the moment, trying to prepare things. But you do recognize two in particular from the night before, which is the elven girl that has a cloth around her face, and the human who's not currently wearing his mask. Those are the two that you can identify at the moment.
It was the elven girl who he spoke to, right?
She's the one who took the sample. The
Okay.
guy is the one who led you to the room that you stayed in.
I think we should talk with her.
Okay.
Alright. I guess we go over.
You
Where is...
okay?
I was gonna say, I don't know his name. Kind of important detail. I guess just go over and be like, so where's the doc with the fancy mask?
To be honest, I haven't seen him this morning. I wonder if he's out getting supplies at the moment. He did go out last night, but I don't think he came back.
Do you know how long he's been gone?
Since last night when you had all arrived?
Damn.
I know that he had gone to the wall. He possibly went out to gather more resources for us, but well, I'm not entirely sure where he is right now.
Is there any guards around that would be able to escort someone with a message then that he was supposed to be giving them?
There are no guards, but he kind of quickly turns over to one of the kind of desks that's set up and quickly pulls out a parchment and some ink and begins to quickly jot something down. Just kind of hands it to you and just says, "This should suffice, but it won't be able to get you out of the walls. It will just work as a way of relaying the information, allow you to get close enough to speak with them."
This works. Thank you.
Gives you a
Go
nod.
back to the... Yeah, I'll go back to the group and be like, well, Doc went out last night, hasn't returned. Gonna be honest, I think he might have gotten snatched. So, the nice nurse over there gave me this parchment. It should get us close enough to the guards to relay the message that Icarus is going to be on his way. But I think
Yes,
it's
we
about
should.
time we go check out what's going on.
I say we hand on the message first, just in case we go missing as well.
Fair point.
we are in a group, it may be a little harder for us to go missing. At least one of us can get away.
Yeah, but without our tank, we're facing those same things again. We're gonna have to go about it a little differently.
That is true. I guess we can just be vigilant.
What? Head to the wall real quick. Do you all want to take a path that'll bring us near one of those axes?
I think probably on the way back, I would like to see if we can retrace the steps of the half-orc that we spoke to last night.
Oh, sure. Good point.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Alright. As you guys move along, roll a perception check for me, whoever wishes to. And if someone wants to aid, you can give advantage to whoever wants to roll.
I'll give advantage to Owl Boy.
Let's the +9, please. First one is a 22. Good. All right. Yeah, we're
22
taking
it
the
is.
22.
And you guys are walking. Probably about 500 feet from the actual wall where you can see the guards, some of which are kind of looking in your direction. You do notice off in one of the more desecrated buildings, partially collapsed, you see a glimpse of what looks to be some sort of mechanical device glistening in the light just a little bit in this doorway of this building.
If you guys want to head that way, I might quickly book it to the guards, get the message to them, and then get back to you as quickly as possible.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna be. I guess I'll fly up and shadow step my way up to them, just yelling, "Hey, I have a message. Here's a note as well. Don't shoot." To get to the guards.
The
And
guards
then I'll
kind
just
of
relay
all, they just kind of watch you as you come up. One of which, um, uh, kind of makes his way down using a ladder that they lower for him to get in. And he comes up to you, this dwarven individual, kind of standing before you.
Oh, we're on the same height. I'll be like, I was given this note so that I could speak with you from one of the doctors. I'm not sick. A buddy of ours from Mirage, a Dr. Icarus, is making his way over here to help with the plague. One of the other doctors was supposed to come last night, but it seems he's gone missing, so my group is going to go look for him in the meantime. But if you could please, whenever Icarus does arrive, make sure he has safe transportation into the city.
Kind of gives you an eye. Says, he was here last night, but if he's disappeared, he probably ran into something on his way back.
Oh, he did make it to you with the message?
Yes, he did.
Did he... Was there anything off about him before he left?
He seemed the same to me as he's always has been every time he's come to this gate.
And if you don't mind, I never really caught his name before, but what is his name?
Shit, I didn't have a name for this character. I literally was just like, he's not gonna have a name.
I'll just call him Bob.
No. His name was Grindel. That's
Grindel?
it. Grindel.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And then I'm going to book it back to the group.
Gives you a nod, pockets the paper, kind of makes his way back up the ladder before pulling it up. The rest of the group, who's slowly been making their way towards the doorway, you do notice upon a closer inspection, the mechanical device that you notice is a broken segment of the mask that Grindel, that you've now learned the name of, the half-orc was wearing.
That's ominous.
Section of it is broken, and there is a blood stain on the ground near it that seems to be streaking through this building and through some of the rubble.
Do I make it back to them?
Yes, you are all together again.
Oh, I don't like this.
The guard at the tower said that Grindel was able to deliver the message last night, but it seems he went missing somewhere along the way of returning.
Well, that's not ominous in any kind of way.
He must have gotten jumped on his way back.
Mm-hmm. Everyone stay alert. I don't like this.
All right, so you guys, as you enter this, are you entering the building? I assume.
Is there any windows? Is there like upper area to the building?
The upper floor of the building seems to have collapsed in on itself. Some of the downstairs seems to be collapsed as well, and some of the rubble that was the blood streak seems to go through. It seems to be very difficult to pass through.
Mm.
But it does seem that a lot of it was parted by something large.
Fine. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to stealth.
Yeah, let's roll
25.
stealth as well.
So a note, if you want to roll with advantage, if you right-click with your mouse on whatever you're trying to roll, you can actually select advantage. Or, yeah, right-click.
Whoa. Send to everyone to Dungeon Master. Okay, that's cool.
Okay, so I just rolled an 11. That's a cool trick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually going to do it for Trinket, because I don't feel like rolling my dice. I'm lazy. Wow, she rolled really well.
I'd hope so, considering.
She is the rogue. she has to roll well. She's a rogue. Andraka? Andraka? Would you
I
like-
got disadvantage. I'm most likely not going to pass it anyways.
It's a group check, so I'm doing an average.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Man, fuck the average.
it's a pretty good average, to be honest. So you guys feel pretty quiet. There's a few moments that Andraka and Journey seem a little unsteady with their silence. You do make it to the space, and you do notice that it seems to the section seems to almost split, and then seems to almost burrow down into the earth.
God damn it.
But the hole is very large. It's a very large hole. It's probably roughly 8 feet in diameter, and seems to angle at a kind of a very light incline that seems to descend into darkness, which you cannot see beyond. Though some distance within the thing, you do hear a deep, almost a breathing. A breathing / growling noise. You're not entirely sure what it is.
Well, this seems to track with the creatures in Mirage falling underground.
Unfortunately.
Trink kind of takes a few steps back and just says, I do not like this.
I should probably let you guys know. When we were camping out in the desert when I was on night watch, I'm pretty sure it was a hallucination, but there was a creature, pretty large, elongated limbs and all, kind of just pointed at me and screeched and then vanished. But yeah,
Well, that's disconcerting.
I don't want to mention it until now, but seeing as we're about to go into a dark, scary hole, might as well.
Roll a perception check, everyone.
Jesus.
I have to roll with advantage since I have dark vision.
It's just regular.
At a 19. Trinket at a
I got a
21.
2. It was about to land on nat 20. I love.
I got a
Nice
nat 1 and a nat 20.
There's complete opposite ends of the spectrum. As your boy says this, which you do get the sensation, you feel the feathers on the back of your neck stand up on end. And because of your high roll, you actually remove an attack of opportunity. Or not attack of opportunity, a surprise attack. As you turn and see the same ghoulish, tall creature standing roughly 5 feet behind you. Now, at a closer look, you do also notice the long arms extend into these sharp claws. The mouth that you had seen gape open so wide is open and filled with teeth, razor sharp teeth. And it is looking directly at you. And the rest of you can now see this creature as it produces a screech. And I need all of you to roll initiative.
Does my character have time to yell, "Hey, that's it"?
Yes.
18.
as you freak out, just oh shit.
Speak of the devil, he's here. God, I need to get some way to like see invisible creatures.
Do I roll disadvantage for initiative?
I would say I think it's what is the first level exhaustion have, or what level are you on?
3. It's ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws.
I'm gonna say no, just for now, because I'm not entirely sure, and I don't want to punish you for something that I don't know. So, Andraka is first on the list for your guys, because I do not tell you where the monster falls within the list. So let me roll its initiative real quick.
At 18, 16, 14, and 21.
Next would be Journey, then Errol, and then Trinket. All right, and Draka, you are the first in the order. Even though you are in an exhausted state, you seem to find a explosive reaction that you have as this creature appears.
Yeah, you're tired, but you're also tired of being so low in the initiative order.
Burning hands.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
does dex.
It does a dex save. Is it half damage if it succeeds?
Yeah.
Okay, so the creature is going to take its 4 points of burning damage. Fire damage? Burning damage. I'm sorry, that was 4 points of fire damage as the flames lick at its skin as it kind of shifts, trying to avoid it as best as possible. Do you have a bonus action or anything, or is that your turn?
Yes. I'm going to quicken spell. And then do another burning hands.
Oh man, that's wild. I assume the DC is higher than 11.
It's 15.
It's 15. Yeah, so this time it is not as quick as it was the first time, and does take a decent amount of the fire as it scorches its skin and it produces another loud shriek of pain. Journey.
Well, I'm going to move away from this creature,
Okay.
and then I'm going to use my crossbow to shoot it in face.
Okay.
21 hit.
That definitely hits.
Okay. Roll damage. So that's going to be 7 damage. And then bonus action, I'm going to activate a charge of Cantrip Master. So I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast at it.
All right. How many blasts do you have?
2.
2. Okay. So roll both of those attacks.
So I roll hit right first, right?
Yeah, 2 hit. Yeah.
Okay. So the first 15 hit.
That does not, as it manages
Okay.
to duck away from your first Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Okay, I hit with neither.
Yeah.
Oh.
You sink this crossbow bolt into its kind of its chest as it screeches, and as you fire the 2 Eldritch Blasts following it, it ducks out of the way, the blast slamming into bits of wood and stuff that is behind it, causing the wood to splinter outwards. It's now Errol's turn. God, I'm choking.
Yeah, active. I don't. To activate my gloves, that's not an action, right? It's just
I think it's a bonus action.
activates.
It should say.
It doesn't.
Did I not do that?
It
It may
just
be.
says when activated, the user.
It may just be. I may have just made it a free action.
Up down if it's a free action, because then I can use my bonuses.
I assume it. I'm just gonna say it's free action because it's. It's kind of like you just kind of hit your fist together and they kind of activate.
All right. So I do that motion, and then I'm gonna throw 2 punches, and then spend 2 key points to do flurry of blows. So I'll do that twice.
Yes.
So I need to get all of those.
So we'll roll the first
Arm
2
strike.
attacks.
1. That is a 20.
That hits.
And the second one is a 24.
That also hits.
Okay. Should I roll damage for these or just continue with hits?
I would continue, and if you hit a crit, then you roll for the crit immediately. If you don't, you just keep going through.
Is the other one 27?
That hits.
And 12.
That one does not hit. So roll damage for 3 of them. And the way I'll have you do it, just click the button for your unarmed strike 3 times.
Yep.
And then you're going to also do, because your gloves, an additional bit of necrotic damage.
Yeah, it should be per hit, right?
Yes. So you would just add an additional 3d6 to the damage.
Okay.
So roll your damage for all of them just regularly. So using the
1,
unarmed strike.
2,
6, 16, 24. So 24 points of bludgeoning damage.
and then 3d6. Is there a way to stack these? 3. Roll. There we go.
Oh, wait, you do necrotic damage with this, so it's all necrotic. That's right. 11, so 24, 36 points of damage. No, 35 points of damage. My math is wrong. And let me double check. Yes. All right. So you strike this creature, and it shrieks in pain. The black fists that seem to be extruding from your gloves, striking into its form, kind of causing it to stagger slightly in its place. I need to do math. The hardest part of being the DM. There we go. I can't even do math when I'm a player, dude. It's ridiculous. Yes, perfection. All right, and now it is Trinket's turn, who, in her bit of a panic, is going to pull out her short bow and is going to attempt to fire a shot at the creature, which she does hit, doing 6 plus her sneak attack because you are engaged with the creature. Doing 18 points of damage on her first strike, and is going to fire a second short bow shot at him, which is a crit. Trinket's here to get some work done, apparently.
Yep.
And she does 11 points of damage there. The creature screeches in pain as 2 more arrows sink into it, one of which sinks into the side of its head, causing it to shake violently before turning towards you, Errol, and is going to attempt to bite you as its jaws open wide and it swings itself towards you. What's your AC?
Is that armor class?
Yes.
18.
18. It is going to sink its teeth into you as its jaw clamps down over your shoulder and a decent portion of your torso. And it is going to do... You will take 42 points of piercing damage as it bites into you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it, after biting into you, it immediately pulls back, tearing a portion of flesh from your body. And it is now back to Andraka's turn.
Errol, are you still up?
I got 17 health, baby. Let's do this. This hell ain't going down easy. Oh,
I guess.
This
I'll
is what
try a-
happens when you go and help the people who are suffering. Just,
yeah.
just leave them to suffer. If they needed help, they would have paid us.
18.
18.
That hits.
Okay, so it
Dread, I
rolls
hear
a
you.
con check.
Rolls a
It
con
takes
check.
9 poison damage, and then if it fails the con check, then it's poisoned until the end of my next turn.
You watch as the pale complexion of this creature turns a more sickening green color as the veins underneath the pale skin seem to darken. Its face seeming to almost shrivel slightly. And you said it takes 9 points of damage?
9 poison.
9 points of poison damage. All right.
Journey, I'm gonna try to pull the same move we did last time. Stick it with the dagger.
Okay, I've already stuck it with my bolt.
It
Oh,
has
true.
a bolt and 2 arrows in it.
So yeah, heat metal 4th level.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So let's see what that does. That does 17 damage.
17 points of burning damage. And
Okay.
as this happens, you watch as the creature kind of begins to rip these arrows from its body, blood splattering across the ground as it is frantically trying to get the burning away from it.
Errol, what do you think? Should I? Screw it. You're hurting, so bonus action. I'm going to cast Healing Word 3rd level on Errol.
Okay.
You have healing?
I only heal you for 8 points, but I figure it's
Hey.
better than nothing. I only have Healing Word, so we
That
don't got no
works.
cleric.
It is now Errol's turn.
Just same move as I did before.
All right,
Oh,
roll
4
those
punches at
roll those
demands.
unarmed strikes.
Just line this bitch up. 23.
That's a hit.
Nice.
That's
21.
a hit. That's
18?
a hit.
Oh shit.
You just
15.
miss. You just miss with that last one.
Hey, I'll
Oh,
take it.
that's pretty damn good.
There's
You're
a
consistent.
7. Exactly. Apparently with the 7s as well. Jesus Christ.
You strike this thing a few more times, and it screeches in pain.
Oh, I still have the necrotic. I
Yeah.
don't know if a minute's
Oh yeah.
passed.
Add the d6 to it. The 3d6 because that's how much extra you're supposed to do.
Oh my
Just
god! What's the
consistent
7?
sevens. It screeches in pain as these fists kind of slam into it, causing it the same staggering before, and it continues to stare at you. This deep rage within it that you are starting to sense. Trinket is going to draw another arrow and is going to fire another shot, which is going to hit and do some shite damage, but she does get her sneak attack. And you watch as she fires an arrow, and it, as this thing is staring at you, its mouth beginning to widen again as it looks to go to bite you again, and an arrow drives through its head, causing it to almost gag as it stutters for a moment before taking a few steps back and produces a loud screech once more. And I need all of you to roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Is that just a regular wisdom?
18.
Yes.
14.
12.
14,
At
12.
least it wasn't 7.
Okay. Give me a moment. I am doing some math.
I'm ripping that thing's jaw off. I just want you to know. I will wear it as a actually, it's gonna be like the size of my character.
So everyone who failed, which is everyone but Journey, takes 24 points of psychic damage as the screech rattles your head and you are stunned.
Journey, thank you so much for healing me. I am at 1 health because of it.
Can
You're
I
all
say,
stunned.
except you're welcome?
Journey, you take 13 points of psychic damage, and you are not
Okay.
stunned. You watch as everyone else is clutching their head, struggling to be able to move or do anything else. Your head felt like it was splitting for only a moment before the pain quickly faded. Trinket's actually on her knees, muttering under her breath under the pain from whatever this creature did. And you look over at the creature itself and you see its body withering before just kind of dissipating into almost dust.
God damn it.
And about a minute passes before all of you, your heads begin to clear up again. Blood dripping from your nose and eyes and ears from from this just psychic blast of energy that it hit each of you.
I'm just gonna cast Healing Word first level. Wait, on Errol, just to get him a little bit of health.
I am missing a substantial portion of my side.
Okay.
It's
So,
just like it's a flesh wound.
Well, now you have 7 health.
I have
7's a
7
consistent
health.
number with you. Let's go take you to a doctor.
I'm just like, no, this is a flesh wound, and I'm gonna like fall over.
I'll pick him up.
Which is not a hard feat. He's a very light individual. You see Trinket kind of wiping the blood from her nose and her eyes and kind of spits a bit out on the ground. And just
I'm gonna take like some cloth and grab like a handful of that dust and tie it up.
I'm gonna mutter to you, Journey, as you carry me. You're like, I guess he wasn't an illusion.
I guess I'm not crazy.
Well, the only thing that was illusionary were its chances of success.
I don't ever want to run into one of those creatures again.
I want my side back from that thing. God damn it.
You guys kind of slowly leave the structure, heading towards the place where a lot of the sick have been gathering, and you notice they are all regathering. And one of the doctors the female elf notices all of you, and she quickly speaks to one of the others before coming over to you and just says, What happened to all of you?
Found the creature, fought the creature, got the t-shirt. Your friend is dead, by the way. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a shame to hear. You all look
That
like
creature
you
got
could use
hands.
You look like you could use some rest and a place to heal.
Oh, one last thing before we rest. Hand her over like this pouch with like this dust. We killed the creature. It crumbled to dust. Here is what I could recover.
Okay.
It's not. I'm just gonna mutter. It's not dead.
What do you mean it's not dead?
It's not dead.
All right. She's gonna take it, and she kind of leads you all into a chamber within the center, and kind of guide you all into it before taking the pouch elsewhere to allow you all to rest. Um, is there anything else you guys wish to do while you are severely injured? Some of you.
We'll get its jaw. I swear to God.
Um, and I will say, so not long after the incident had occurred, that feeling of being watched that had been lingering over you has faded.
Still convinced it's not dead.
Though you all kind of gather and in this space and kind of rest. If you would like to take a short rest, you can roll some of your hit dice to get health back. If you don't know how to do that, trying to remember where to specifically. If you go into your features, I think you can see the number of hit dice or something. Yeah, go into features, click on hit dice. It won't tell you exactly. You got to go into the character creator in order to figure out how many you have. So like you should have 8 times whatever your normal hit dice is. So for Trinket, for example, because she's a rogue, it's 8d8. You can roll up to that number per day to regain health. I'm going to explain how short rests work. So for Trinket's
Still
case,
finding.
she could roll a couple of d8s. So I'm going to do probably 5 d8s to see what she gets. And she gains
It's
22
under
health back
class feature.
during the rest.
You said it's under class features.
Yeah, if you click on the builder tool, you can see
Oh.
what your max hit points, what your hit dice are, and it'll tell you. It should be 8, whatever your
Okay,
class.
yeah, mine's 8d8 also.
Yeah.
You can
He's
just
a
click
bard.
on short rest.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
a button too. I forgot about that button. I'm dumb. It's
I'm gonna
fine.
roll 4 of them.
I completely forgot about the short rest button. Not gonna fucking lie.
So I got 8d8. I'm take short rest. Ka-chow. Did it roll?
It should. If it didn't, you can just roll what you wanted yourself. But on that note, though, as you guys are resting,
Okay.
how long are you guys planning to hang out within this place? You spending the rest of the day?
I heal to max health.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
How long do you all plan to chill in this medical space?
Well, I'm healed, so I probably want to get back on the beat. Maybe ask
Same.
if they found out anything from that material we handed over last night.
Has
Okay.
anyone seen a creature like that before?
Are you talking to the
That I
group?
can recall.
So that's a no.
No.
Cool.
As you guys exit this room, kind of once you've rested up and patched yourselves up a bit, you do hear a familiar voice within one of the chambers. And
Is it the duck?
not long after you guys kind of begin making your way down the hallway, you see Incris holding a syringe in one hand and a bag in the other. Kind of comes out and turns to all of you and says, well, it is good to see all of you again. I didn't think I would be getting business this soon.
How are
Yes,
you
well,
doing,
your
friend?
medical expertise is required.
Well, it is a miracle that I have had the alchemical experience that I've had before now. You see, as he kind of looks, he kind of pauses for a moment, taking in some of your appearances, and says, "Did something happen recently?"
Yeah, we fought a. I don't even know what that thing was, but Tall. It was white, right? Or pale? Yeah. Tall, pale creature. About 2 foot jaw extension. Long arms, claws at the end of it.
Apparently been
Yeah.
stalking us.
It's been following me since Mirage.
That does sound like a terrifying creature. I assume you've probably laid waste to it by this point, considering you are standing here.
No, it disappeared. It's not dead. It did this earlier in the desert. It could, I don't know, turn invisible, teleport, something, but I don't think it's dead yet.
Well, I guess all you can do is be vigilant.
Oh, beside the creature, have you been able to look at these patients with the plague? Is it by any chance similar to what's happening back at Mirage?
A good number of them, yes.
Hmm.
But there are some that are outliers. Things that don't match up. Symptoms that are off.
It's mutating. Hmm.
I don't know if it's that. Um, I was able to do a bit more research while you were gone. Um, these other strands of whatever is here, they seem to be correlated with something else. Based on what little I've
Icarus,
seen so far.
when I was infected, I had hallucinations calling and telling me to find others and collect. I don't know if this helps, but it may be some psychic control or, I don't know, hive mind even.
I will make a note of this, and when I've completed my work here, I will do some research, reach out to some contacts, and see what I can find.
Thank you, Icarus.
It's always a pleasure. It seems I've
Back
only
to the
found
hole.
I have found mostly fortune after encountering you lot. He kind of turns over towards the number of patients that are out. He places the bag down and begins like gesturing for people to start making their way towards him. As he's beginning to administer the cure that he has for some of this disease. And you said you all want to go back to the hole?
Were we able to check on the dust sample?
There seems to be no word on that.
Yeah. Hole, everyone?
It sounds good to me.
Let's go. We're spelunking.
Yay.
Oh boy.
I want trophies from this thing. Preferably its skull.
You and your trophies. First you wanted that guy's leg, now go with whatever this thing is.
Oh, I will get his leg. I'll be back.
All right, you guys head back towards this building. Re-entering, finding the same dust pile that had been there previously due to the creature that you had just vanquished. And you approach this hole, still hearing the deep breathing within, but there seems to be shuffling within the space beyond what you can see within this darkness. And the one of you that has the farthest dark vision, which I'm pretty sure is Errol, I'm pretty sure he has he's a pretty good one. You can't see all the way through. You see pretty deep, but you do not see the end of this tunnel.
Put my cloak up. Stealth up.
Yeah,
balls
I'll
to the
roll
wall.
stealth again.
Jesus, I got shitty stealth rolls. 16.
Okay, I got an 18.
We're doing a group stealth.
Yeah, if you all are going, it's a group stealth check.
So this time I didn't tank the average.
Let's go.
2 nat 20s.
Shit, and
Nice.
Trinket just rolled a nat 20.
So
Well,
do
I
we get an
think we
average of
passed.
a nat 20?
Yeah, that's a pretty good pass. You guys sneak into this tunnel, kind of making your way down. All of you had dark vision. This was really convenient for your group. You guys make your way down, and you enter. Once you go about 200-300 feet down into the earth, before coming into this large chamber. And within this chamber, you do notice this very large creature crouched over a few carcasses. This creature, it looks humanoid in nature. Probably, based on what you can tell, probably stands roughly 15 feet in height. Its back is to you, and you see this almost blackish gray skin that makes up its body. The ridge of its back, where the spine is, seems to be almost spiked and pressing against the skin. Its arms are long and extrude into these large claws. A pair of antlers seem to extrude from the head as this creature is devouring from this pile of corpses. You hear the tearing of flesh and the as it consumes the corpses that are before it, and you also notice the back legs seem to be more. The only explanation would be almost deer-like, with hooves in their kind of shape, the way the legs are shaped. This creature is currently, though, occupied and is eating and has not heard you.
Is it larger than the hole we came in?
It is just small enough to get through said hole.
Hmm. I'm not saying anything while in its presence, but that's a big boy.
Does it look like it has eyes?
You cannot see it. Its back is to you.
Is this cave? It does it like dip down? Is there any ledges?
It is like a dome-like plate. It seems this is a burrow, and it produced a dome-like burrow of sorts.
Okay, I have an idea. I'll whisper the Erwins to back up a bit, and I want to do an stealth attack on it.
I might get in position to do a stealth drop, like drop down from above it as well.
Okay, are you all preparing to attack this creature?
I am.
Yeah, I'm gonna silently fly up to the roof of this dome, just like hugging the edge.
Let me check my notes here. All right. So you are each getting into position.
We're about to fucking die from this thing.
Gonna write some things down real fast because I need to.
Where is our juggernaut?
Currently dragging a boat from the sea.
Ed.
N versus boat.
Let me just make some notes here.
God, man, what is this, like? Deer, monster, cyclone? I don't even know.
It's a
I'm
massive
sorry to say,
jackalope.
I'm very sorry to say, but you motherfuckers wanted to help these people. It's your motherfucking problem.
Heroic like.
I mean, if
Alright.
we can, we could try to blind it. I could just start.
Oh, that's
Guys.
a great idea, because I was gonna cast shatter at level 5 and level 4 at it. Loud freaking noise. You can blind it.
Do you want me to tell you what I was gonna do? I was gonna drop down from the ceiling, open up the locket, which will cast darkness around the locket itself. So it would be blind, and I would just hold on and just start wailing on it.
Ooh, I like that.
You guys would still be able to see, because I'm assuming.
With the darkness spell,
Yeah, you would have an idea at least.
You would have an idea of where it is. You wouldn't be able to necessarily see it.
Yeah, but at least this way I can surprise it. Or
I can cast darkness.
if you want to attack first, I could lunge down on top, so it once it notices, and then I'll blind it.
Yeah,
Whatever you want to
I think
do.
doing that would probably help, so you're not caught in the
Yeah.
blast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll wait
So-
for your cue.
I guess everyone roll your attacks that you want to roll against it.
Okay.
Gain a
I'm gonna-
single attack.
Okay. 24. Question. Does it have okay, actually Constitution 16 save?
Constitution 16?
Yeah.
Wow, that was a shit roll.
What'd I get?
It rolled a, doing math in my head, a 10.
Okay, so it takes 24 thunder damage.
24 thunder damage. Let me check a note real quick just to make sure that I know what I'm doing.
I'm waiting for everyone to attack before I drop down on him. Start riding it like a bull.
Okay. Yeah, so there are none of that. All right. So it takes, you said, how much damage? 24?
24 thunder damage.
24 thunder damage. And
Ciao.
Draco, I'm assuming you're doing an attack as well?
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide.
Trinket
They shoot
misses.
with lightning.
You
'cause I
watch
brought the
as
thunder.
Trinket fires her arrow, and it seems to break on contact with the hide of this creature. And she her eyes almost seem to go wide, and she takes like a step or two back in fear as she grabs another arrow. What would you like to do, Andraka, for your sneak attack? You do have advantage because you are getting the upper hand on this creature. Actually, because you have advantage, Trinket might not have missed because I just remembered that she has advantage on this. Nope, she still missed.
I'll try. Okay. I'm gonna shoot it.
All right.
Yeah, I brought the thunder. You bring the lightning.
Yeah, that's a 13.
A 13.
You get advantage.
Nah, yeah, that I have disadvantage, so
It says
I don't
18.
get anything. I -5.
Oh,
I'm doing the sharpshooter.
you're doing sharpshooter. Damn, you do miss. You graze it, but it's not enough to actually penetrate any flesh. This creature, as this attack occurs, looks. Yeah, you are dropping down as this is happening, but it turns towards the rest of the group, and the rest of you see a deer-like skull with sharp teeth extruding from the jaws, looking in your direction with blazing amber-colored eyes that seem to stare at you with a rage and hunger within them.
So it can be blinded.
You are dropping
Take out
down.
its eyes. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm dropping down.
So you're just casting the spell darkness on it, around it, and holding on.
I'm gonna grab, and then
Roll a athletics or acrobatics
acrobatics.
check to gain a grip.
advantage or none.
Advantage because it's unexpected. You managed to hold on. You get a hold of its antlers as
Alright,
it
I'm just
begins to
gonna yell,
shake
Welcome
at
to
you.
the Shadow Realm, and flick the locket open.
And I need
Yeah, to the
everyone.
Shadow Realm, Jimbo.
I need everyone to roll initiative, as combat has begun.
They're just seeing a deer head get enveloped by
Got
a
a nat
puddle.
1, so 5 for me.
Damn, all of you rolled like total fucking shit. So all right, and Errol is first in your guys' group. Then it is Trinket. Then it is Andraka, and then it is Jorny.
Does it go first, or am
The
I
creature
going
is
first?
going to make the first attack. As it
Okay.
is going to attempt to try to get you off of its antlers. It is going to attempt 2 claw attacks. The first misses, and the second one misses as it swings up at you before it is going to put its head down and is going to charge a wall. And I need you to roll a dex save to keep yourself from being pinned by the antlers and the wall.
Is this acrobatics?
Yeah, I'm going to say dex. It's a saving throw.
What's that? Is that a net 20? Oh, I got a net 20.
Yeah, you got a nat
Let's
20,
go.
so you're going to get through it anyway. So you managed to move out of the way, so you do not get penetrated by these antlers. And it slams its head into the wall before yanking back and turning and trying. It's still focused on you, but it is now your turn.
Do I have clean line of sight on one of its eyeballs?
You do. If you want to aim specifically
Alright.
for the eye, roll with disadvantage because you're aiming for you're being precise with your attack.
Wouldn't the darkness advantage cancel out, so it's just a regular?
Yeah, so yeah, it's a regular roll.
Going for its eyeball. Got a 24.
Okay.
That was with a dart, by the way.
Oh, you're chucking a dart in its eye. You have two.
Yeah.
You have two. You make 2 attacks in an action, by the way. So you do have a second one. I'm pretty sure.
I guess
that's-
I'm going for the second eye, I guess.
Yeah, you have 2 attacks per action.
That one's definitely not hitting.
So you get the first one to drive into this thing's eye, and it screeches. And as you manage to drive this dart into its eye, give me a moment. I need to check my notes. Where is it? Here it is. You take 6 points of fire damage as a burning heat comes from this creature. And as it screeches in pain as you drive your dart into its eye. Roll the damage for that dart.
7.
All right.
Good old. That was with one hand. Can I do that with one hand and hold on with the other? Is that still
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah. So
Cool.
you're still holding on.
Yeah.
You do still have your bonus action.
Not much. See, if I move, then the darkness is gonna move. Am I able to make another attack with a bonus action?
You can just make a single unarmed strike, or you can use your disengage or dash or any of that stuff. But you don't have to use your bonus action too. You can
I
just
could
keep
just
holding
save
on
it.
for you just keep holding on for dear life.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep holding on.
All
I
right.
might.
Yeah.
It's now Trinket's turn,
Pray to God.
who, in a bit of fear and a bit of unable to see, she's going to cast a magic missile at 2nd level, which is going to do, so each dart is going to do 5 damage, and she's producing 4 darts. So she does 20 points of force damage as she strikes this creature with these not divine, but these bright white darts of energy that seem to drive through it, and it screeches in pain as this occurs.
Once I take the second eye out, I'll cancel darkness and move back to you guys.
Okay. Oh, and then she is going to, as a bonus action, going to fire her short bow at the creature, which is going to hit. She is going to inflict 24 points of piercing damage as she manages to drive the arrow into its back, causing it to screech, which none of you can see, but you can tell that it is hurting it. I just realized that. None of you can see the creature right now because it's enveloped in darkness. And Draka!
We can't see it.
You know where it is. So you could. I'm not giving you disadvantage because you know where it is.
Oh, I already have disadvantage, so that wouldn't do anything. I'll try a ray of sickness. Nope. I'm not rolling. I already know that missed.
That does miss. You're right. You are 100% right. It does miss. And as you fire this ray, I need everyone to roll a wisdom saving throw for me as this creature produces a loud shriek that seems to rattle you to your core.
Only 14 this
Please,
time.
nat 20.
A nat
Oh,
20.
fuck. Nope. 7.
Is everyone gonna fail this check?
Unless it gets a nat
you
1.
are all gonna fail this check. So each of you, I must do this to figure out. So Journey, you are first. Journey, you are overwhelmed with fear. And on your next action, you are going to have to use your full turn to get as far away from this creature as possible.
Okay.
And Draka, you find yourself stunned with fear, unable to move. You can take an action, but you cannot move from your spot. Trinket is also stunned with fear. And, oh, dear Lord. Errol. You develop this strange sensation, this strange desire to consume flesh, technically, yes. You have this strange desire that comes over you. And the nearest thing to you are the corpses that are below the creature.
Not the creature?
Not the creature. But you have a strange desire to go for these, and you will do anything that it takes to get to them.
Cool.
And it is now, on that note, it is now Journey's turn.
So I am moving 30 feet back.
You are running out of the tunnel. You are running up the tunnel back out of this place.
Bonus action. I'm going to cast Healing Word 2nd level at Errol.
Okay.
Because,
move.
So, let's see.
So it's not on your turn, you will have to try to make your way to those bodies. It's pretty much, this creature causes an effect on people.
Okay. Heal yourself 9 points, Errol.
So I'm at max. Does that get rid of buff or now or debuff?
Debuff?
Does not. No, it doesn't.
And on that note, it is back to the creature's turn, as it is going to continue to try to get you off of its head. Kind of swinging violently around. First attack is going to miss. That is going to hit. And that is going to miss. So it is going to hit you for... Where's my D? Yes. It is going to hit you for 21 points of slashing damage. As one of its claws rakes across your body, Errol. Causing you to struggle to hold on for just a moment before you do manage to regain your grasp. And it is now your turn, Errol.
Food time. Can I make any other actions other than eat?
Roll another wisdom check for me, or save.
Got a 14.
You have only one goal in mind, and it is flesh.
Food time. All right. I guess I just go to the ground.
So you get to the ground, you just start tearing into the nearest body. Trinket, who is petrified in her position.
Well, she can't see it, but yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's petrified due to the scream. She's going to pull her short bow out and is going to fire upon the creature yet again, which that's going to hit. And because you are still within 5 feet and technically still engaged, even though you are consuming, she still gets her sneak attack, and the creature doesn't know where she is, so yeah, she does get her sneak attack regardless. And that's going to miss. So she's going to inflict 18 points of piercing damage as she fires another arrow. And the creature just kind of turns in her general direction. Not moving because it can't. It's not its turn. But it does look in her general direction. And Draka.
Oh, can it still see her? Or is the darkness gone?
You still have the spell up.
I can still see her? That's crazy.
You can see through the darkness. No one else can. Um,
14 gun.
that does not hit. You fire and you hear it impact what you believe to be dirt and rock. Or sand and rock. Sandstone. Sandstone. That's what it would be. Sandstone. I am a smart person. No, I'm not. It is now Journey's turn. It's back to Journey.
Okay, is my fear over?
Your fear is over. The overwhelming fear that had come upon you seems to have disappeared.
Gonna go back down there. I'm going to use heat metal at the 3rd level.
On
The metal shit stuck in the giant creature.
okay.
And it doesn't get any saves or anything. It takes 14 damage. I'm going to use my 2nd charge of Cantrip Master to cast. Wait, no. Oh, yeah. Cantrip Master. I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast. 2 beams. So, does a 15 hit?
That does not hit.
Okay. Does a 16 hit?
You watch as these beams of energy, these greenish beams of energy, strike this creature, and they don't seem to do anything as they kind of bounce off, not quite hitting the way that you want them to, and they don't seem to get any holding on it as it's kind of shifting within this darkness. It is now the creature's turn, which is going to move away from Errol and is going to move towards Trinket and Andraka. And as it does, it is going to attempt to lunge at Trinket. Which it does succeed. And is going to inflict some damage. Let me find the... That was scary. That dice came flying out of my hand. It is going to do 17 points of damage to Trinket as she is pinned to the ground and knocked prone by this creature, who is then going to attempt a bite and a claw attack against her. Which is, the bite's going to hit, and the claw's going to hit. I don't even need to roll anymore. So she is going to take... That's 17 for that. And she's going to take... Yeah, Trinket's down. So you watch as this creature tears into Trinket, and she lets out a cry of pain before going unconscious. Blood pooling around her as this creature's tearing into her. It is now Errol's turn.
Do I still need to eat?
You no longer have the sensation, and you are disgusted by what you have done.
Fantastic. I'm gonna. Yeah, I could do that as a bonus. I'm gonna shadow step next to the creature and Trinket. It's dark in here, right?
Yeah, it's dark in here. There's no light sources.
So I'm moving the darkness bubble with me, and then I'm going to stab it in the eye with a dart.
Roll an attack.
Oh. 20.
That hits.
It's stabbed in the eye. Fantastic. Do I take fire damage again?
Yes, you will. You are going to take 2 points of fire damage.
Spicy. Alright. So I used bonus. I used one attack. And then my other attack, I'm going to try to grab Trinket? It's still pinning her, right?
It's on top of her, like biting into her and stuff.
So I could try to move her. I'll try to move her. Is that a...
It would
Dex?
be, you would roll an athletics check to try to get her out from its grasp. Because it has
Is
its
that...
claws around her.
Ooh, that's gonna... Spicy for me. I got a -1 on that. I got a 0.
You go to grab her and your hand slides through the blood. You cannot get a grip whatsoever.
That's cool.
Trinket is going to roll a death saving throw.
Then I'm gonna take my... I'm just gonna disengage. Just move back.
That's a fail. It is now in
People is
Draka's.
gonna get killed, you fuckers.
It's now in
Huh?
Draka.
Where are they at?
They're like 10 feet from you.
Okay, I'm gonna vortex warp Trinket to the top of the hole.
How far does that go? What is the distance on that?
90 feet.
So 90 feet up the tunnel. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So she gone, disappears from its grasp, and it looks around confused. What else are you gonna try to do on your turn?
Nothing.
All right. The creature, as you do this, it looks up at you.
Is it not blind?
It seems to have a sense of direction of sounds and things. And as it looks in your direction, Jared, you get this strange sensation that falls over you. And I need you to roll another wisdom saving throw for me.
12.
You feel this deep sensation of fright and fear fall over you. Something instinctual that tells you to run, and you are now frightened, which is one of the conditions. You can read what that means. And with that note as well, you also will take 12 points of necrotic damage as you feel something eating away at your very essence as this creature kind of looks in your direction. It is now Journey's turn, who is standing very close to a very bloody, unconscious Trinket.
There's that part where I feeling word rank 2 as my bonus action.
Okay.
So she heals 9.
9 points of damage. You hear her gasp and like hyperventilate a little bit as she kind of clutches her chest, and you see some of the deeper wounds have closed up a bit, but she's still bleeding pretty badly, but she is alive.
And now I'm going to cast what's it called? Shatter level 2 on it. So con 16 save.
Con 16. It is going to pass its check.
Okay. Let's see.
I think it takes half damage, right?
Yeah, so it's going to take 7 damage.
7 points of damage.
Thunder damage. Pachow.
Can we tell if this thing's like visibly damaged at
It
all?
is fairly damaged. There's quite a bit of this black tar-like blood dripping from it. Part of the skull itself is cracked. It's kicking, but it's seen much better days. It is now the creature's turn, who has turned its attention to Andraka and is going to attempt to do a bite and 2 claw attacks against you. The bite's going to miss, and Draco manages to dodge it. What's your AC, Jared?
17.
17. So it's only going to land 1 attack on you with one of its claws. And it is going to inflict 23 points of slashing damage as the claw strikes across your chest. And it is going to roar in anger as due to the loss of its previous prey. It is now Errol's turn, who is still nearby it.
Alright. Punch my fist together to activate the gloves.
I think it's a once per day use.
Is it once per day?
I'm
Or
pretty
is
sure
it once
it's
per long rest?
once per long rest. You haven't taken a long rest. You took a short rest.
True. Alright, never mind. No punching of gloves, just whale time.
So roll those
First one,
unarmed
16.
strikes. Of course, that is a miss. You just
Swear to
missed.
God, if I get 7s, that's a 10.
Both you hit the creature, but it doesn't seem to do anything. It's like the way you strike it doesn't seem to penetrate the thick hide that seems to make up this creature.
Alright, and then... Yeah, I'm just using Fury Blow, so 2 more.
Those are unarmed strikes. Fury blows will always be unarmed
Yep.
strikes. That's a miss.
22.
That one does hit. You rolled for your quarterstaff, but it is unarmed strike, which that would have
Oh,
hit
my bad.
with
My
the
bad.
21, yeah. So roll your unarmed strike damage as you punch this creature, managing to channel your chi to kind of interact with the internal mechanisms of this creature.
Hit it for 9.
9 points of damage. Okay. It kind of slightly shifts a little bit due to this. Trinket, now back on her feet and more lively than she was before, is going to draw her bow, and she is going to... actually, you watch Journey as she snaps her fingers, and that hawk from before appears and rushes towards this creature, and is going to attempt to land and inflict wounds using her familiar, which she misses. As you watch the necrotic energy coming from the talons of her familiar kind of dissipate into the air as it avoids the antlers of this creature swinging around before she is going to draw her bow and is trying to take a shot with the bow, which she does hit. It's going to do 25 points of piercing damage. And that goes on to Andraka's turn, as Trinket is going to limp further down the tunnel to keep her distance from this creature.
So does it have me restrained where I can't move, or is it just standing on top?
It's standing in front of you. It just swung at you. It did not pounce on you. It just struck at you. You can walk away, but it would get an attack of opportunity if you just walked away.
I guess I'm gonna try and shoot it again.
Shoot it in the face.
No, I'm not.
You try to fire and as you do, it kind of swats your cannon to the side a little bit, causes you to fire and strike one of the walls nearby. Is there anything else you can do?
I'm gonna pray to God.
pray to Nemo.
Yeah.
Journey.
Okay.
Uh,
So
You've never seen a lizard so distraught in his life.
how close is this creature by now?
It's just it's at the entrance of the tunnel, standing in front of Andraka.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers at the 3rd level.
Okay.
So it has to pass a Wisdom 16 save.
I've rolled good on all of its checks except for this one.
Okay. So I'm going to. Okay. Dissonant Whispers. So it takes 18 psychic damage, and then also it has to run away as fast as it can away.
Okay.
So get the hell out of here.
You watch as this creature grabs a hold of its head and begins
Attack of opportunity.
screeching. Only
Oh,
person that
I'm,
would
I'm
get
close.
it. Yeah, only person that would get it was Errol, and then technically, if Andraka wants to try to do a swing at it with anything he might have, but I don't
Do it,
think
boys.
Would this
you would
does
just
that trigger sneak attack?
because it's you probably should have been doing sneak attack the whole time, actually, to be completely honest, because you've been in it. Someone else has been nearby it.
I've
But-
also forgot to roll an advantage for the last attacks, but
Yeah.
it's whatever.
But yeah, it grabs a hold of its head. You see blood, these black blood dripping from the eyes and the mouth of this creature as it begins to try to retreat deeper into the tunnel.
And it tries to do that, and I'm going to use my last charge of Cantrip Master. And hey,
you don't
maybe
you don't get attack of opportunity because you're not close to it, and you don't have Warcaster. Not Warcaster.
I know, but I can still use
Oh
it.
yeah,
though,
yeah. It's still your turn.
Because Cantrip Master.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm gonna try Eldritch Blast again, see if
So,
I can make anything happen.
Errol, you roll your attack of opportunity, and Journey, you roll your Eldritch Blast.
This needs to
So
be
rolling, you can either do your unarmed or you can do your quarterstaff strike. And
Actually, roll me another Wisdom save.
that is a 14.
Okay, then it can get fucked and take 6 damage, and also it gets disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay, and roll that damage for your quarterstaff, sir. 'Cause that does hit.
28, and then it's this plus sneak attack, which is a d6.
Yeah, Vicious Mockery. It's fun.
So 13 plus 1.
I'm gonna ask you a question you're going to like very much. How would you like to do this?
I'm taking its jaw.
All right, you all see as I'm gonna put it this way: you drop your darkness as this happens, your magical darkness, and those that are close enough can see as this small owlin individual swings with the might of what you could only probably compare to maybe Magnus. Probably not quite as strong, but it seems to have a similar might to it that completely detaches the jaw of this creature. And it screeches in pain before he jabs the quarterstaff into its head through its mouth, causing it to gurgle and slowly collapse backwards. The body hitting the dirt.
Let's go. I got
So-
trophies.
Impressed whistle. Like impressed wolf whistle. And now that we're out of combat, I'm going to cast my last level 3 slot as Healing Word on Trinket. So she can heal 11 damage.
Okay.
Let's go.
Woo, baby! That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Woo, baby! All right.
Did we get to know what that thing was?
All you have is the body that seems to. Nothing really happens, but it's just the body of this creature, and the black viscous like liquid that you only assume to be like its blood.
Right.
You've
I'm just
never
gonna
seen a
go.
creature like this. Actually, if anyone wants to, roll a history or a nature check. DC is pretty high for this one.
Only 13.
Same.
Twins.
Okay, so none of you really can identify what this creature is. You've never heard or seen something like this.
How wide is a bag of holding open?
2 feet.
And it wasn't a 2 feet jaw.
You could
I'm. I
carry
was
the
gonna say
head
I'm
on
putting the jaw.
You could carry the head if you were to take the head from it. You could carry the head on a bag.
I'm doing both. The jaw I'm gonna fashion into something later, and then I'm just gonna work on ripping its head off.
Wait,
Okay.
shouldn't we get Icarus down here and see if he can identify the creature before we mutilate it for parts?
Well, if you take its head, you can use that.
Yeah, he could figure
Yeah.
it out.
Good point.
All right.
We'll take the rest of the body if needed.
You guys take some time to collect the skull of this creature and everything else, and head your way back to.
Head our way back.
Yes, head your way back. Head back to the
Head jokes.
the medical center, which, once again, the half elf is just baffled, or the elven woman is just baffled by the fact that every time you guys leave, you seem to come back more battered than you left.
Hey, I didn't take a single hit this time.
Yeah, she
I'm
comes out.
walking in carrying the head of the thing like over me. This
This little
green
Alan.
owl.
You see a lot of people like gasping and like concerned. There's a lot less people that were sick though than there were before, and you do see Incris, who was sitting off to the side, sipping from a canteen, kind of sit up and make his way over to you. And he says, "Well, what is this that you have brought in?"
That's what we were hoping you could tell us.
I got its jaw, Icarus, and its head.
We killed this thing in a basement. Seems like these plague bears like dwelling underground, just like the creatures being encountered back in Mirage.
Bring it in here real quick. He leads you into another room, and you notice within this room, the room has been. You had seen some of these rooms, like they had like very minimalist stuff in them. You notice this room all of a sudden has a bunch of his equipment. You don't know exactly where it came from, but it just seems that he has a lot of his equipment with him right now. And you see
So
him.
you've been working miracles.
Yes, and he opens one of the chests that is in the room and begins sorting through some of the books. And I'm going to roll a check for him to see if he will know what this creature is.
We end up bringing the rest of the body up, or
him looking over this creature and reading through a few of the books for a moment. He says, I don't know the name of this creature. I have heard rumors of such a beast. Some consider it some sort of spirit that possesses individuals and transforms them. Did you find this creature feasting on carcasses of some sort?
Yes.
yes,
There are a lot of corpses down there. And
may
it was
be
able
some.
to control our friend Errol here.
They taste nasty.
I thought you liked trophies.
He nods a little bit and kind of turns back to one of his books and he says, if it's a creature that I think it might be, those of you that are injured, I would stay vigilant between all of you. And if any sort of symptoms pop up of anything that might seem off, you should let one of us know.
Well, I'm gonna go rest. I wasn't injured in this fight.
You see kind of Trinket look. If she had like skin you could see, she would be pale right now. She kind of looks extremely nervous.
Trinket over here was downed by the creature. I managed to revive her, but
Well, if you all stay within town for a few days, probably in about 3 we'll be able to determine if any of you have been infected with anything. If not, well, it should be pretty easy for you to leave town.
What's the creature called?
I could not find the name, but I will get back to you when I do. I just
All right.
remember reading of this type of thing.
We can show you where the rest of the remains are. Take a look.
There's no need. The skull is quite enough.
Don't damage it too much. I want to turn it into a helmet later.
Of course.
All right. I'm gonna take the jawbone that I ripped off of it and some rope, tie it to one of my arms for the meantime.
All right. You all get together and rest. Magnus, you do by nearing the end of the day. Now that we're finally back to you, because you've been alone this whole
This is
time.
the long rest, by the way.
You guys are taking a long rest by this point.
Thank God. My spell slots.
The Magnus is finally got the boat to shore, roughly 500-600 feet from town, and Sins kind of comes out as peers from over the dune as you've pulled this up. He says, I was wondering where you were.
We needed transportation. They guard the ways off of this land mass that are viable, so we'll fix this one.
That sounds like a plan. What do you need from me?
I need to rest, gather materials. If you can't, see what you can scrap from what I've already pulled up.
I'll see what I can do. He kind of moves over to the boat and starts looking it over as you position yourself to rest, and I guess this is a good stopping point for tonight's episode. A lot of fun battles, a lot of fun things happened here. And yeah, we will continue this in 2 weeks. I guess next week we will be continuing the Wild West campaign. Now that we're doing our outro, so next week is the Wild West campaign and the Vampire campaign. Correct? Yes? No?
Yes.
We should all be back on a schedule.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to catch us in the next episode, follow the Twitch, turn on those notifications so you get notified when we go live. Join the Discord where you can possibly talk to us, possibly be a part of future one-shots that may or may not happen, and get notifications whenever we go live. Or join or follow the Twitch, Twitter. It's late. Words are not coming to me. Follow the Twitter where I attempt to notify all of you lovely people whenever we are going to go live. And I will notify you if anything ever changes, such as cancellations to sessions and things of that nature. And if you want to catch up on previous episodes, go to the YouTube page where we have everything perfectly organized within folders just for you guys so you can watch each episode in order for that campaign. And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed, and we hope to see you in the next one. Peace.